Steve, do you have anything you want to add about Mr. Bezos?
No, I like getting my packages on time. And Marty Scorsese is here somewhere. Where is he?
Anybody know YouTube?
All right, looks like it's working. Everything showing in the
I don't know if I
Marty Scorsese.
am set up to be heard yet.
I gotta tell you, I love the first season of The Irishman.
all right, looks like it's working. Everything showing in the
Ray Romano
the
movie.
normal
Such a
Konohamaru
great
is
supporting
up here
cast.
watching everybody.
Steve, did you see the Joker?
I
And
can't wait to see it. It
Testing,
sounds so
testing.
funny. I'm laughing already. Joker.
the normal Konohamaru is up here watching everybody. And
Testing. That's too bad. That's too bad. I tried to get it to show.
So many great directors.
you might
tried
have
to
to.
get it to
Do you have your
show the
TV? You have your
thumbnail.
TV playing through the microphone? You might want to put your headset because I'm getting captions for the from the show.
I tried to get it to show.
You might have to. Do you have your TV? You have your TV playing through the microphone? You might want to put your headset because I'm getting captions for the from the show.
Wait, what?
Is the my sister who's joining us? I'm hearing the show coming through here. Do you have the show playing through your headset, or is it
I don't
playing
even
through
have
your
it on.
TV?
I don't have it on yet.
That's very strange.
I got a Ferrari. It ain't even close.
People is the my sister who's joining us. I'm hearing the show coming through here. Do you have the show playing through your headset,
I don't even
or
have
is it playing through your TV?
I don't have it on
And
yet.
that's very strange. People listening, do you hear the hear the award show, or you just hear us? And hello, everybody. I heard a little bit of the award show, and I don't know why it would be showing because I have it playing through a headset right now. Hey, Lily, and Rosalind, award show, or you just hear us? And hello, everybody. I heard a little bit of the award show, and I don't know why it would be showing because I have it playing through a headset right now. Hey, Lily, and Rosalind. Hey, Kev, Bonnie, and everyone. Got a weird error this time when I was trying to set this up. It was I've been so good at doing these lately. You know, I used to Bonnie and everyone. Got a weird error this time when I was trying to set this up. It was I've been so good at doing these lately. You know, I used to always have these technical issues, and the last few times I've just been able to go ahead and
Sorry, think how much the Oscars have changed in the past 92 years.
go ahead and issues. And the last few times I've just been able to go ahead and use the
Yeah, they have. You know, back in
use the
1929, there were no black acting nominees.
No. And now in 2020,
technology better, but it kind of really screwing me up right now.
Amazing
So
growth.
Yeah, I just
Well, we've had
actually
a great
stopped
time
into
not hosting
the
Bonnie, technology better, but it kind of really weird screwing me up right now. So
Yeah, I just actually stopped into the actual stream, and I do hear the Oscars playing when I'm in there.
I'm checking.
But I don't have it on my computer at all. It could only
Okay, is it stopped now?
the Oscars playing when I'm in there.
We're checking.
But I don't have it on my computer at all. It could only be coming from you.
Okay, is it stopped now?
Hold on.
Error this time when I was because I tried something to let me know if it stopped. Yeah, I know. I tried something and it stopped. It was, let me know if it stopped. Technology better, but it kind of really screwing me up right now. So
yeah, I just actually stopped into the
yeah, I know.
the actual.
The word is kind of loud. I think
stream,
I'm.
and I do.
I think I'm. I think it was something that was happening up on the Streamlabs thing. I tried to mute the audio output for it, so you guys shouldn't hear it anymore at this point. It should just be me. Okay, thanks. Happening up on the checking on the Streamlabs
But
thing.
I don't
tried
have it
to
on my
mute
computer at all.
the audio
It could
output for it, so you guys shouldn't hear it anymore.
Yeah,
at
I
this point.
just
It should
actually
be me.
stopped into the
Okay, thanks.
the
I know.
actual.
I don't want to stream or have any of the Oscars actually on here, just for copyright reasons. The word is kind of loud. I think I'm.
I do hear.
I think it was something that was
Oscars
happening up.
playing
I
on
don't
the,
want to on the stream or have any of the Oscars actually on here, just for copyright reasons.
Since I'm running this
now
on
it's
my
back
computer, you should.
Now it's back. Make sure you go down to Streamlabs. The first thing where it says the mixers and audio output capture for the TV is off because it went off when I muted it. So if you have it on, make sure that the one all the way.
Streamlabs.
Make sure you go down to Streamlabs. The first thing where it says the mixers and audio output capture for the TV is off because it went off when I muted it. So if you have it on, make sure that the one all the way at the bottom is off. Because when I did it, it stopped. So Streamlabs
But
thing. Because when I did it,
tried
it
to on
stopped.
my computer at all.
I think it was something that was happening up. I don't want to on the stream or have any of the Oscars just something on here, just for copyright reasons.
Since I'm running this
now
on
it's
my
back.
computer, you should close Streamlabs.
Make sure you go down to Streamlabs. The first thing where it says the mixers and audio output capture for the TV is off because it went off when I muted it. So if you have it on, make sure that the one all the way at the bottom is off. Streamlabs thing. Because when I did it, it stopped. So I think it was something that was happening up. I don't want to on the
What's going on?
stream or have any of the Oscars just something on here, just for copyright reasons.
Since I'm running this
now
on
it's
my
back.
computer, you should close Streamlabs.
Make sure you go down to Streamlabs. The first thing where it says the mixers and audio output capture for the TV is off because it went off when I muted it. So if you have it on, but anyhow, welcome everybody. Make sure that the one this all is something the way I like to do every year. I've always been a big fan of the what.
It seems like we're getting something weird going on in the chat. Is everybody doing okay now? Can you guys hear it fine? Because if I try to check out the thing, it keeps re-looping the same stuff over and over again. Are you guys hearing us fine? And do you hear anything in the background like the Oscars?
I do like them showing all that. Most of the movies are pretty good this year.
KOC, you can actually close Streamlabs on yours since we're running it off my computer.
It is closed.
Okay, good.
Oh, the Best Supporting Actor award. Now, I've been looking forward to this because I stopped talking for a minute. I thought. It's the Best Supporting Actor award. This is one actually that means a lot to me because even though I'm not really a big Brad Pitt fan, I loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and he really made the movie for me. And I loved how the whole scene with the Manson family. So, with someone, Brad Pitt probably. But yep, it's justly deserved. And again, I'm not a big fan of him, but he captured that movie, and it was great. I don't know how many of you have seen it. I'm also not the hugest Quentin Tarantino fan either, but I just really liked that movie. It was not anything like I was expecting. And I gotta tell you, I absolutely adored it at the end of it. I won't give it away if you guys haven't seen it, but there we go. But yeah, the Brad Pitt award was kind of is kind of obvious. But then again, I think he does deserve it. I didn't see. I think I saw all of them, all the movies that were nominated, except for I'm not a Tarantino fan either. But except for the Antonio Banderas, was he the other one? There's one of them I didn't watch. Well, Kathy, I saw it, and I didn't really know about it much because I hadn't been to the movies a whole lot in the past year. But when I watched it, I didn't know what to expect. I thought I was going to be bored, but it was a really unique and good movie. I quite enjoyed it quite a bit. It has they do a lot of history in it. It kind of rewrites history a bit.
I accidentally said something in chat and forgot that I'm logged in under you.
Oh, okay. Wait,
I'm actually
Rosalind?
afraid to start the show because I'm afraid that it will start broadcasting to you guys.
Right.
Because I have to have desktop audio on because that's how I get you.
Right.
I mean, I could screw with it and make it only do Discord, but I don't know how.
So Rosalind, you can't, or Bonnie, you can't hear anything? Ask her in the chat about that and see if you can figure that out, because everyone else says it's fine. Nice getting this straight, KOC. Well, this one was kind of obvious. There were a few that aren't going to be, but I think before we started talking about all these interruptions, I was telling you when I really you might want to mute when you're talking to the dogs or cats.
Sorry.
But yeah, oh yeah, sorry, Regis here. That's great. Said he would stop in. Simply me. Hi from Kentucky. Are any of you fans friends in real life? There are a few people in the room here that are chatting that I'm friends with in real life. So I'm looking into everything. It looks pretty good. And Big Kev, I know Big Kev in real life. I know we can call him real life. And I know my sister Evil Black Cat in real life. I know that might be kind of shocking to some of you, but that is true. But how do you guys like the thumbnail we put out for the event with Ichigo looks kind of gay in it, I think, but he's neutered anyway, so I'm sure he's not really having any romantic feelings towards anyone. Mostly he just wants food and to bask in the sun or roll up on somebody.
He's a typical eunuch.
He's a big old teddy bear. But yeah, he
If I could have put the envelope a little further to the right, it would have kind of covered. It would have. I left a little too much dead space there, and the champagne glass gets kind of absorbed into the envelope. But hey, live and learn. I did it in like 5 minutes.
I didn't know what to do about it.
30
Rosa says
minutes.
she's not getting anything, but everybody else seems to, so I have no idea.
I don't know either, honey. I'm sorry. Well, I just realized she couldn't hear me say that, could she?
He's adorable. Yeah, that was an older picture of him. We used it for a few things. But he was where the picture he looks like he's giving you sort of a sly look in it. He's not giving the sly look when we took the picture. He was annoyed. He was annoyed because the picture had a flash in it, and he was that face was him like I took several pictures of him, and that look has actually stopped flashing the light in my eyes. Christine, good Sunday evening, Killer Orange Cat. Hope you had a great Sunday. Yeah, all right, I had a pretty decent Sunday. Decent Sunday. I got caught up on the Best Picture movies because I like seeing them before the show starts. So I did that most of the day. I did some cleaning too. The Crimson Cure, no, I'm not drinking. Neither is my sister. Maybe people in the chat might be, but I'm not.
I did have some of that rum the other day to help with my arm hurting. So actually, this has been going on. This is the third day.
Over McWorferson, great to see you. We're watching Doctor Sleep right now. Oh, I'm going to check that out. I've been meaning to do that. Pretend I'm here with you guys. We can do that. We can definitely do that. Ichigo looks very dapper. So yeah, it's I just this is just it's not going to be all just hey watch the Oscars. It's just a chat so we can hang out and stuff. And I watch the Oscars every year. It's it's so funny because I don't get really into a whole lot of that competitive stuff or what matters or doesn't matter. But I like watching it. I mean, I love movies, and I really, really enjoy sort of the competitive suspense of something. I don't really get into that for a lot, but I'm a big movie person. I'm a huge movie buff. I don't know if we talked about that much in our other chats.
You always have been.
Yeah, I've always loved movies. I think a lot of it had to do with after my parents got divorced, we lived with my father for 5 years, and he did not take us to the movies once.
He took me.
Not one time in that 5 years.
He took me one time to see Care Bears. That's all I remember.
Okay, well, he didn't take me to any movies in that 5 years.
It was one of those weird times when it was just me and him. I have no idea why those occurred, but
So when I was 15 and we came to live with my mom, she took us to movies all the time. So
that was awesome. I still remember her taking me to see Beauty and the Beast, and that's probably why I love that movie so much.
This is best animated film coming up. I don't think I can't make a prediction on this one because I am pretty much 100% sure I haven't seen any of them.
I got sick during Edward Scissorhands because that was part of my OCD. Remember I told you the thing the other day about the way I slept with my hands and fists?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that actually really freaked me out when we first saw Edward Scissorhands because that was a huge fear of mine. So I never told anybody that. So I got sick during that, I remember. I just remember Mom taking us to all these movies, and for some reason I remember that. I love the movie.
Oh, tons of them. You're breathing deep into the mic, it seems.
Am I? I'm sorry. Hold on.
That's alright. Just,
Maybe this will help.
I can't believe it. Looks like Toy Story 4 won the best animated picture. Again, I haven't seen any of those, so I'm going to have to try to watch at least that one. Rosie, I haven't seen a Joker, but well, I can tell you, Rosie, there's if anyone other than Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor tonight, it would probably be the biggest Oscar upset in history since he's won every single acting award he's been up for. So, and he was really good. Now, the thing about the movie Joker is that I liked it, but I don't know. He didn't really seem like the Joker to me. It seemed like a completely different character to me. But I still really liked it. He played the role great and definitely deserves the award. I mean, I've seen all the performances that are nominated for Best Actor, and I can't imagine anyone other than Joaquin Phoenix getting it. He was really, really good.
Do I need to make
Who's hosting? I like Billy Crystal. If I'm not mistaken, it's Chris Rock and Steve Martin came out and they were hosting together, but I'm not sure. I think How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World should win, but Toy Story 4 most likely will, and it did. So it seemed to me like the Toy Story. I only saw the first three, but it seemed to me like the Toy Story movies were very good at consistently being good.
Right.
So, this the animated short films. Those are always kind of neat because you don't really hear or see much of them usually beforehand. But once you watch the Oscars and you see them, you might go ahead and think, hey, I want to actually watch these. I've done that quite a bit. I'm watching the Oscars with the mute on. Yeah, I do that a lot too. I watch everything with subtitles anyways, whether it's
Ichigo be about 8.
loud or quiet or not. I'm always much happier just to be able to see the words too, because I'm a much more visual person than a auditory person, so it always helps me a lot. How old is Ichigo? He is.
Should be about
Let me
8.
do a little quick. He's 8 years old. He'll be 9 this October.
Yeah, that's true. He will be.
Kev says I don't think there's a host this year, just presenters. That might be the case. It kind of seems like it might be that way. Oh, thank you, Christine, about the reading of the Raven. Yeah, I was having a bad day, and it all got better afterwards, so don't worry about that. But as I was sitting here and I was just feeling bad, it just kind of popped into my head that maybe I should try to turn that around, try to do that, and just be able to channel that emotion into something that would be productive. And that's why I decided I've always wanted to do a reading of the Raven. And most people, when they read the Raven or narrate the Raven, they try to sound evil or sinister. And they don't realize that poem is not evil or sinister. That poem is sad. He wrote it about his wife who died. So it's such a sad, sad story. And that's the way I always wanted to read it. And I've done some acting in my life, but I'm not the type who could do. I can't like cry on cue. I just can't. So when I was feeling really down the other day, that's what it just occurred to me. It's like, you may be able to sound sad finally because you are sad. And so
Oh,
I
that's why
did
you told
that,
me
and
not to
I came
listen.
out, and I was much happier about it. Sky, hi there. I had to do something. I wanted to know when you'll narrate my story. Probably tomorrow. I have, uh, I have three, including yours. I have 3 videos written out: a winter story video, a mixed video, and then your
Hmm.
story. I was gonna work on getting one of those out today, and I remembered that the Oscars were on, so I thought maybe it'd be nice to watch it with you guys and have a friendly chat. But I'll probably do your story tomorrow. On Tuesday, I'll probably do the winter stories on Tuesday, and the mix non-themed one will probably be on Wednesday. There even is a poem about dealing with depression. Of course, yeah, that's and I was depressed, so I think I hope I did a really good job. Um, yeah, this I got something. Me, his wife was his 13-year-old cousin, and I think you're right that she did die of tuberculosis, but
A lot of
I
people died of tuberculosis.
yeah, especially back then and stuff. It if you remember Waverly Hills, that's actually what Waverly Hills was. It was a tuberculosis hospital.
Yep.
People have said it's a sanitarium, but it really wasn't. Um, it was a tuberculosis, basically almost a tuberculosis hospice. You go there and you pretty much know that you were going to die, which is pretty terrible. But I mean, I guess that's where it gets the sort of the haunted reputation from. But it if you watch my video, I mean, I included some of the more really scary stories in it, and did a little bit more research. And my friend Brad Smith, who might come in to see us, who knows? He comes in the season, pokes his head in the chat every now and then. Was one of the people that went with me to Waverly Hills. But one thing I always found very interesting, because he lives in Louisville. So before they opened Waverly Hills to be a like haunted attraction, him and his friends had snuck onto the property and gotten into it. So this was before. If you go there, I wouldn't say it's clean. It's very dirty, but there's not a lot of trash lying around. And when he went in there, that's what he had found: tons of trash, and tons of trash, tons of medical equipment. He said that when he went into the death tunnel, on the death tunnel there is a staircase, and then there is a ramp, a wheelchair ramp, right right beside it. He had said that when he had come there, it was filled up with wheelchairs and stuff. But the idea about the death tunnel is that so many people were dying of tuberculosis that at one point the tunnel was just like full of dead people. There's no consensus on that, or no real evidence of it other than what some people said. But just the thought of it is pretty disturbing. But I do know that the amount of people who died in Waverly Hills, most people like to say it's about 20,000, but the research I did shows that it's closer to 3,000. And one of the reasons I'm talking about this is also on the Oscars right now. A bunch of people are singing a song I don't know,
Mhm.
and that doesn't really interest me too much. It's they always complain about the Oscars running too long, and my thought is, well, if you want the Oscars to not run too long, cut out these musical numbers.
Thank you, Rosie. I really appreciate that. I'm doing another one tomorrow with my mom. We're making a chocolate chip heart shaped cookie cake. Actually, it'll be chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip, yummy. I
Yeah,
probably won't be able to get up in time.
that's
You
fine.
know me. But Donkey, where's my cheesecake? Oh gosh, this cheesecake. She actually did that twice. But you guys they saw the Heath cheesecake, right?
Yeah, I
You had
did
the
the.
toffee.
I added the pecan pie as a bonus at the end.
Yeah. Oh, so anyways, guys, if you haven't seen my sister's videos when she makes her cheesecake, you might want to check it out. The cheesecake was delicious. I think that we ended up having it, and my mom's doing this because me and her have a competition to see who can lose the most weight. Not that either of us are fat. Both we're not fat. We put on a couple pounds on the stomach, over the Christmas season. So we're trying to see who can get back in perfect shape easily enough. So Skyrunner wants to be a moderator. I don't know. What do you think?
Why are you asking me? It's your channel.
I'll say maybe his story was nice enough that I'll let him do it. But if you're mean, I'll take it down. Big Kev, the musical numbers are to showcase each nominee for original song. Oh, okay. I didn't know. I know that they do that. I didn't know that was one of the songs. Right. So I just ate, but thanks for making the me hungry again. Hey, that's what we do.
There's a link to the video if anybody's interested.
You should if you're not, well, I couldn't say that. But if you ever come across gabapentin, which I take for epilepsy, my sister takes it for anxiety. One thing about that, you will become the hungriest person in the world. When it makes you hungry, and you
That is
eat and
true.
you eat. I mean, your stomach does not fill up when you're on gabapentin. It's like food, food, food. But it works. When I I think I mentioned before about my partial seizures and stuff. So when it's on there, I don't have them.
He's helping with my shoulder right now. Is the breathing into the mic any better? I moved it and I put a blanket over the mic because I know it doesn't have the foamy thing on
There
it
we go.
anymore.
Poe would have been very proud of you, Killer Orange Cat. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I would like to read. I know some of my colleagues do read more of his stories. I'm probably not going to do that, even though I love Edgar Allan Poe. But he is so verbose, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
True.
Um, it's one of yeah. I mean his vocabulary it was amazing.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about Poe is that
He can be a tad
it always
too
appears
poetic for casual reading.
right. He puts words in there that you're like, okay, if I'm going to read a Poe story, I need to go find a dictionary. And see, I mean, he's not the only one who does that. I like Michael Chabon, if anyone is a reader of him, and he's just like that too. I can't, and I have a very good vocabulary, but I have to uh, have a dictionary if I'm reading one of his books.
Oh, good. You made a moderator because I didn't know how to do that. I'm like, because I can't type as myself in the stream right now either because I'm you.
It's fine. You can just tell me you're me.
Okay.
I'm not typing anyways. I'm talking. So,
But
do I believe in the soup? Do I go ahead?
I was just gonna say you obviously made him moderator, so I didn't have to because I couldn't figure that out.
Yeah. Simply me. Do you believe in the supernatural, or you just have fun with it? I don't know. That's a hard question to answer because, as I mentioned in previous streams, I've had experiences that people would consider supernatural, including if you were on my Raven stream, you might have seen something very odd happen. Because on my Raven stream, I was telling the story, a story about a friend I had that was into Ouija boards and stuff, and I always keep my captions on, as I've told you, and I'm sitting there reading the captions, and the name Toby comes up in the captions, a name I did not say, but Toby was the name of the guy I was talking about, and that just kind of really got to me because I'm a skeptic. I look at individual occurrences. So if you were a person who had on camera a supernatural occurrence, rather than I wouldn't say, oh, the supernatural doesn't exist, so your video is wrong. I would say, let me see the video, and I will judge it on its own merits. So I'm not saying that supernatural doesn't exist, but I am saying that the majority of quote unquote proof doesn't stand up to prove that it does. I've seen only best original screenplay. That's I'm gonna stop talking for a minute and watch that because I'm on Knives Out. If you guys haven't seen Knives Out, you should see it. It got robbed. It got robbed because that movie should have been nominated for Best Picture. Daniel Craig should have got a Best Actor nomination, and the guy who directed it should have been nominated. Knives Out was an excellent, excellent movie. And if I had to actually pick what I thought the absolute best movie of 2019 was, it would be Knives Out. So it was great. When I live stream again, you want to drop by and join my chat? Sure, Skyrunner. Just send me a message to let me know because I get kind of busy around a whole lot, so I'm not. I would have to make sure I'm scheduled it so I know because as everyone here will tell you, I'm kind of absent-minded too, so I really have to know. See, everyone else seems to agree that Knives Out. Knives Out was excellent, and it just got completely snubbed other than the screenplay award. Now I think I'm gonna guess Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Although if you listen, Parasite just got a really really loud applause. So it might be Parasite. So we'll check it out and see. But I'm thinking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, you got to keep me informed on what's going on in the Oscars since I can't watch it. Well, I could if I charged my Kindle.
I said, I said at the end that by the audience reaction, because remember that the videos that are the videos, the screenwriters are there. The people who vote are there. So sometimes you can tell by during the nominations the acting, but so Parasite won, which is pretty surprising to me. I mean, Parasite. I don't know how many of you've seen Parasite. I'm still trying to figure it out. Not that it was complicated, but everyone told me how absolutely wonderful and brilliant it was, and I liked it, but I didn't think it was nearly as good as everybody said. So I don't know if I need to watch it again or something. No, don't get me wrong. Congratulations on him winning. I mean, it's definitely a labor of love. You can tell if you've seen it, and the movie is definitely worth watching. But yeah, I mean, there could be a Best Picture upset for Parasite, maybe. It won over 1917, which is the odds-on favorite to win Best Picture. So who knows?
Sorry if
What
there's
is
any weird
Parasite?
microphone noises.
Parasite is about. It takes place in South Korea. There is a man who's tutoring a very rich girl in English that he likes, but he's leaving to go to Europe. So he finds his friend, who's the main character, and they forge some documents and seem like he's from a university, and he becomes the tutor of the girl because his friend trusts him. He doesn't want anyone else to tutor her because he thinks they might try to take advantage of her. So what that young man does then is he starts manipulating things and replacing members of the rich people's staff with his own family, and but not telling the people these are my own family. It's a whole con. They're playing on them. So all four of the members of the family end up working for this rich family, and that's really all I can tell you. Uh, it's if I went any further into it, I would be giving out way too much information. But if you want it, I do say see it. It is in Korean, so you have to watch it with subtitles if you don't speak Korean. I don't. Uh, so, but it's a good movie. It's definitely worth watching. Reagan, why did you sigh up there? Reach. Oh, because Knives Out didn't win. I know. I knew it the moment I said it. Also, the Joker film was a massive pile of diarrhea. I don't know if I could agree with that. I thought it was a really good film. I just don't think it was the film that I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. To tell you the truth. But now we're doing best adapted screenplay. Painted Houses. I didn't see that. I did see The Irishman. Actually, I finished watching The Irishman a few minutes before the stream started. So, Little Women. I saw that with my mom and my sister.
That was
I was
awesome.
one of five. I was one of five men who was in the whole theater, but I don't care because I enjoyed it. Some very good acting, a story that I really didn't know. Skyrunner, that's way TMI. It's way TMI. Mm.
I'm
Hearing all
sharing.
this,
I'm sharing the Buy
I,
Me a Coffee link real quick because the cats are starting to really terrify me right now. I've got
okay.
4 of them on me. So if anybody
Oh,
is willing to or able to spare a buck or two, there's the Buy Me a Coffee link. We kind of need to buy cat. Seriously, they're all over me right now. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
well, looking through this, okay, Jojo Rabbit. See, I was about to think Joker would probably win, but Jojo Rabbit was very enjoyable. I liked that a lot. The Two Popes I enjoyed as well. The TMI Skyrunner's comment. You're Skyrunner. Okay, you said that. You know what's TMI? You're talking about tacos and stuff like
Too much
that. But
information.
too much information about the tacos. And that screenplay. Nice. Jojo Rabbit just won adapted screenplay.
Cool.
Well, already this is not going the way that I thought it would, and that's good. The only award so far that two Toy Story 4 and Brad Pitt are the only two so far that went the way I thought they would. But Parasite was a great movie, and Jojo Rabbit was a great movie. Jojo Rabbit was excellent. If you haven't seen it, uh, definitely check it out. I just saw it for the first time today, and it was pretty good. But yeah, it just won adapted screenplay, so that's pretty interesting. That means that the odds-on favorites to win the Best Picture, 1917 and The Irishman, are at a disadvantage. So we'll see what happens. God, remember when I was young, I was so obsessed with like getting into acting and eventually winning an Academy Award. It was like I want to do it. I want to do it. Being older, I mean, I was a pretty decent actor when I was younger. I did actually win an award for it, but it wasn't an Oscar. But of course, it wasn't an Oscar. But right now, I'm more of the idea that if I made a film, it definitely would not be the kind of movie that would ever get nominated for an Oscar. I would probably really make a B movie, to tell you the truth. I'd either make a B movie or I would
We still need to make
make like
another
a really
series.
serious horror, serious, well-made horror movie. It would definitely be a horror movie, but I can't see anything that I would ever do or ever write. The creativity that I have right now would ever be accepted by an academy. So
But of course, it would be a scary one because I mean, we did as kids. It was scary. It was Mr. Watt's Scary Tales.
yep.
We didn't even do a comedy. Well, it was comedy, but still. Oh, we should use the emulator and use Mario Paint and make a YouTube video.
Best live action short film. Funny.
Aw.
Casey, you always get an Oscar in my book. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Now they're doing best live action short film again. It's the one that maybe 5 or 6 people in the audience have seen, which is too bad. There's been a few. If I'm not mistaken, a few years ago, um, a few years ago, a YouTube video, maybe more than once, a YouTube video actually won best live action short film. I would take out a loan to see a horror movie written by and starring you. You would need to take out a loan to go see it?
Maybe even to make it.
Oh.
I don't know. We'd need to take out a loan to go see a movie.
Yeah, that's true. Things have just been a little tight lately, but it's fine.
Well,
I've never heard of Ghetto Bunny, no.
Mom being cool enough to buy ingredients and stuff for me to make videos is pretty awesome.
I have plenty of unfinished projects that I would love to make a short film. I mean, I really would. It would, and I do have a few ideas. I've had this one idea for. I'm not going to go into it, but because I don't want to give it away. But I've had this one idea for a horror film that would just be pretty freaking demented. And that one I shared about you with the person who has blackouts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and when you find out why he's having the blackout, it's kind of disturbing.
Well,
But
they say Netflix will sign a deal with anybody.
Netflix is on a deal with anybody. I might need a little bit more proof that I would get some sort of views or anything. But yeah, but I'm sorry, I started watching this commercial here. I was looking at this guy's ears. He's got them pierced in odd places. But let's see, Big Kev. Seems the Skyrunner requested mod so we can spam the chat. I want to fix that, Jake.
I wouldn't.
Oh no. He said he was going to send that to me. That's the story to narrate. Kev for mod. I'm doing it again. Well, if I wanted to make a movie, I mean, I almost dropped out and decided to. I dropped out. I've considered making that movie into like creepypasta and just narrating it, but it's and there were other ideas that I've had too. I mean, I have had different ideas for found footage type films that I would like to do. There's even a few of my stories that I've collaborated in writing with people that I think would be able to be expanded into a decent film. So, but I agree. I mean, but I agree, Bonnie. I should do it. I should actually take the time to take the artistic and be something. What I meant was that I would take a loan out to help you make it happen. Okay, sorry, Bryce. I appreciate that. What's that?
I said I was right. Yay. That's
Oh,
what I said he meant.
but the
Brenlex, I didn't know you were in. I didn't see you in here. Hi.
Christina, you check out the link. I don't know what's going on there. If you
Okay, I'll
could you
check
take
it
care
out
of
in
that
a
for me?
second.
But anyone's seen the lighthouse? You're the third person to ask me that today. I have
was one
not
of
seen
them.
it yet. I almost watched it the other day. The reason I didn't was because I was trying to get caught up on the major Oscar nominated movies. I've watched a lot of this a week. If you want to make a movie, go for it. Line up friends and family who can act, including yourself.
Okay.
Well, it's not a bad idea. I mean, I'll explore that a little bit more. I mean, it's not the kind of thing that I should like. I should just let pass. We get old. All get old eventually. And we all get past a period of time where we can do the things that we want to do. And I always say the worst thing that can happen to you is to get to a point where you're older, where you spend your time regretting the fact that you haven't done something in your past. So I should probably take my own advice, shouldn't I?
Yes.
I could not do a CGI movie.
I'm
You,
curious about seeing the Lighthouse. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Skyrunner thinks I should do a CGI movie.
I
That
don't have the
would,
computer for that.
even if I did, I would not be able to do it. My brain doesn't work that way. So
I mean, I could do a half-ass cartoon, but that's about all you. I mean, you guys have seen the horror cliche theaters. That's about what you're getting for us in animation,
yeah,
which I personally
see,
love. And I spend a lot of time on those, so it's really not half-assed.
yeah, and even though horror cliche theater does not get a lot of views compared to the other videos, they're one of my favorite segments. I like them. I like the Killer Slicey. I love the fact that Mortis Media voices him for me, even if he only says one short line. Mortis always takes his time to do it for me. Great guy, but no, I don't know. I have different ideas. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing like a found footage movie, but I would have to have an idea different than what's been done so far, and I'm pretty sure I have completely plausible reasons for people to be recording it because that's all people do nowadays. And that just gave me an idea. That is a good idea. Wow. Let me write that down. I don't know if I want to say exactly what it is because I don't know if I give it away, but I just sat here trying to talking about how everybody records everything all the time. And that just really gave me a wonderful idea for a found footage movie. It's weird how sometimes the most interesting ideas can come to you when you're not looking for them to come to you. But I would still have to think of a story, but the perspective could be very, very interesting. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood won set direction, which I think that probably deserves it. I mean, they recreated the whole ranch that the Manson family lived on. I light bulbs. Yeah, it's weird. It just popped into my head when I was criticizing it. I liked. There was a movie I watched where it was a found footage movie that was recorded completely on video by the son because the son had autism, but he didn't like seeing the world unless he was seeing it through a camera. Please share. Okay, I will because it's just us, so why not? I was mentioning how people record everything on their phones now. So many people do it. So rather than just make a movie where a few people are going around and recording it, why not have a movie where the entire movie is put together by many, many, many different people recording different parts of it, but you still have the entire story take place. But maybe if something comes by my house, maybe I just record one quick part of it on my phone, and then somebody else sees it happening, records it, and records it in different parts. And people do that, and you put it all together somehow, and it might be slightly choppy, but you'll be able to make up the entire story from the different parts captured by many different people. So that would be something. I don't know if you guys think about that. I'm not sure. Killer, you go for it. Make a movie. It would be awesome to see what your creative mind comes up with. Well, I hope that what I just said. I hope that was creative. If it wasn't, I don't know. But that's just a directing idea. It's not a story idea. I'd have to come up with a decent story first too. And I have some, but sounds great. Yeah, thinking about it, I'm sure it's probably been done before, but you know, I haven't seen it. I've seen a lot of found footage movies,
Okay,
and
how long has
usually
my mic been muted?
I have no idea.
I've been talking to
Ro-
myself.
See,
Oh,
Rosalind gets a little like
Ash,
Dracula for what?
is the stream still okay? Ash just freaking late on the keyboard.
Seems fine to me.
Okay. Oh god, that scared the crap out of me. Stay off the keyboard, sweetie. Ugh. Okay, I'm
Apparently,
sorry.
apparently we're having cat technical issues.
They're trying to suffocate me over here. It's like feed us
Uh,
now. They're eating dog food right now, so they're kind of not happy with me.
but yeah, a little like Dracula. Rosalind gets a little like Dracula of the 21st century. Dracula was, for people who don't know or haven't read or just don't know about the actual book of Dracula. Actually, this would be the same for Carrie too. They're Episcopalian novels. It's not a narrative novel. The story is put together through information through different letters. That might take some time, but I think you could do something really interesting with it, even if it had been done. Nobody had done it the way you would. Thank you, Bryce. That that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, but I mean that would just be the what I would have to do, and I probably could is if that's the way I'm going to direct it, then I would have to find the right story that fits into it. So I think that I can do that. It looks like Little Women just won costume design,
Yay!
which is very, very, very deserved. But yeah, it would be interesting to put all that together and come up with a story that fits into it. Although I don't want to make an episode of Black Mirror.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I love Black Mirror, but that's almost what I just said. Almost seems like it would be an episode of Black Mirror. But I would find some way to go ahead and do it. And by the way, I really do like the show. It's so funny. A lot of times, TV shows that I resist watching because someone tells me they like them, but I don't. I just don't get interested in them, and then I eventually do watch them. I'm always very happy. Always very happy. So
I'm surrounded. Sorry, but it's mildly scary.
but yeah, the Black Mirror was one of them. And don't get me wrong, I don't know how many of you have seen it. So I'm just going to talk right now about that while this song is going on. Because I don't know it, and I don't like seeing performances of songs I don't know.
I never
It kind of
really
really.
enjoy the songs in the Oscars. That's bathroom break time.
So anyhow, I was. I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry.
Um. Oh yeah, and I got into Black Mirror. There are a few episodes, if you guys haven't seen them, that are just really, really uh, more disturbing than I would have liked them to be. White Bear would be one of them, and even though the episode of White Bear, Black Mirror was very, very good, it was very, very disturbing to me, and I just uh, got to the end of it and was like, yeah, I don't want to ever watch this again. But it was good. I don't know if you guys have that happen. Oh, hey, AP, how you doing? Don't worry, it's being late. I'm going to go through the entire. I'm going to be here through the entire episode. I'll be talking about some of the major awards as they happen, but it's just going to talk about other things as we're going along. And people were trying to give me good ideas for horror movies, and I like that. That's pretty good. Simply Me. What about a story of a burglar who breaks in on a murder and finds a security camera that had recorded them both? Yeah, that's interesting. But
Still,
do you mean that you think that the burglar should appear to have been framed through the video, or let me know, because I'm not sure. I'm 100% sure what you mean there. I'm good, AP. Thank you very much. And I was like that with Grimm. Everyone pushed me to watch it, but I resisted. Then I watched it and ended up binge watching it. Yeah, I've done it with quite a few. I've done it with quite a few TV shows, and including my favorite show. My favorite show ever is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I didn't watch that until it went off the air, and I didn't think it sounded like a good idea, and I'd seen the movie, and I was going through a very hard time at one point, where there were things that were disturbing me, and I had a friend who recommended I start watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer because he felt that with the very specific things. I'd seen the movie. I think I've mentioned this before, House of a Thousand Corpses, which I've always found very disturbing, and it has this whole evil comes out victorious hope. There's no point in hope sort of feeling to it, and I did. That's what kind of disturbed me. So he recommended me to watch Buffy, which is pretty much exactly the opposite. Uh, the pure good person will always win, and it's not just because she's good and we want to be cliche. It's because of the person that she is, and he was right. He was right. I went out and I got the first uh, season box set, watched it in like one night. I'm like, yeah, I like this show. So
Yeah, it's great
pretty much
that way.
pretty much flew through the entire thing. And Skyrunner, I can't really answer that question right now about the community tab because I'm not sure how I did it, and I can't really go look at it after because I can't really leave the stream to do that.
Well, you don't
If
even
you want
have
to
to
ask,
have it until you have a certain. You can't use it until you have a certain number of subscribers anyway. If you're talking about your own
oh,
personal one for your own channel. Now, talking
I
about
didn't know
maybe as a
that.
one for other people's channels, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, that was one of the things that changed with them changing the requirements for being able to be monetized. Those bastards. Anyway, I'm not bitter.
So,
I have
oh, the
enough.
more dilemma: does he turn himself in to find the murderer, or destroy the tape to save himself?
That does make
Huh?
sense. That is interesting.
Yeah.
I have a Cujo on me now. 5 of them.
There's only one Cujo.
I meant 5 cats.
Oh.
I can't move. I would not be able to mute my mic right now for anything. And I'm afraid if I do much more than type, I'll accidentally end the stream. There's so many cats around
Oh,
me right
okay.
now.
She's cat covered. It happens very often. Sometimes I'll walk out in the living room and there'll be like 6 cats, and you won't even see her. There's so many cats. Best supporting actress is next. Yeah, I agree. That is going to have to return. Um, I can't imagine any surprise that you might come out of that. Scarlett Johansson definitely is not going to win for Jojo Rabbit, even though it was great. But I'm pretty sure I've seen all the other ones. I actually really liked the girl from. I really liked the girl from Little Women that got nominated. Played the youngest daughter.
Amy.
She since the movie showed the people in the past and in the future, and she was able to play her character in the past and the future very, very different.
Yeah, usually they get 2 actresses to play the 2 youngest girls, but they didn't do that with this one, and they did a great job of it.
I was surprised when she was not nominated for a Golden Globe or anything, but
Right.
she should have been. Hey, it's the Incredible Hulk.
And they did a great job with it. Like I said, I love how they took something that, like, me and Mom know this story inside and out, and we've seen every single one of the movies ever made of it. But they'd managed to take the movie or take the story, stay true to it, and yet still turn it into something new that we had never seen before. It was just brilliant.
Well, Mom didn't like the time jumping though.
Yeah, I know, but Mom always has a problem with that. She likes the linear timeline. Storyline. It's easier to follow.
Best documentary feature. How much do you guys want to bet I've not seen one of these? And that's really funny. That's funny because I do watch documentaries.
I used to love documentaries.
It just seems like the documentaries I watch never show up. Never show up on the Oscars. She was also Paige inviting with my family and the main character from Midsummer. I did not know that. I was going to watch Midsummer recently. It was I was trying to. Someone said it was pretty scary, and I was looking for a really scary movie because I was awake and didn't want to get online and really do much of anything. This was probably about a week or two ago, and I really wanted to watch something scary that I hadn't seen before. And I had looked up a list and had seen Midsummer and thought about, but the movie I ended up watching was a zombie movie. If you haven't seen it, it's Japanese. One Cut of the Dead, and it's a movie that you have to watch to the beginning to end to really appreciate what happens. But it starts out. It's very meta, like meta upon meta. It, but you get this first 37 minutes of it. If you haven't seen One Cut of the Dead, is one complete camera shot with it's zombies, of course, but the people are in a basement. They're directing a movie about. They're making a movie about zombies, and one of the actresses kind of messes up because the director doesn't think she's being scary enough. And some of the people take a break, and they find a real zombie, and one of the crew mistake the real zombie for an actor, and chaos ensues for 37 minutes. Then after that, which I will not say anything about exactly what happens, you get a small little lull in between, and then in the third act, you find out everything that happened. You find out why everything that happened in the first act happened the way it did. And if you don't mind, if you speak Japanese, or if you don't mind subtitles, One Cut of the Dead is something I extremely recommend. But I will watch Midsummer, and I know that you guys are recommending it, and it was either One Cut of the Dead or that. And I went ahead and decided to go with One Cut of the Dead. I'm really happy I did, but I'll take your advice and watch that too. Have you seen Train to Busan? I have not. I'm not sure if I've heard of it, but now they're doing best documentary short subject. Maybe I should do something like that. I'll make like a 5-minute video, or maybe I can make a 1-minute documentary. Maybe if I make a 1-minute documentary, I'll win an Oscar just for doing something different. And maybe the 1 minute, maybe the 1-minute documentary will be about making a 1-minute documentary.
That's
So if I can make a,
hilarious.
I'll make a 1-minute documentary about making a 1-minute documentary, which means it has nothing to do with anything else, and I better damn win an Oscar for it. And I better just be quiet because I'm being silly about this. But now that I'm gonna do it, I'm probably am gonna win an Oscar for it, and I'll be on the stage being like, yeah, I made this 1-minute documentary about making 1-minute documentaries because I thought it would win me an Oscar, and it did. So this is creepy. I'm happy to have this, but it's creepy, and I think I'll need to go home and rest now. But I got a KOC shirt and wore it a few times already. Thank you. My sister does the shirts. I don't. I don't really have anything to do with those except by letting her use the channel name on it, and it's her cat. So, but she puts the. We mostly use we use all of the proceeds for the merchandise on the channel. It all goes towards the cat. So,
Yep. Considering
Bryce,
I really need to buy them food. Anyway.
Bryce, are you opposed to people sending you really short stories that you can touch up and add to? Oh, not at all. I don't actually. Or do you take just full stories? Well, honestly, I very rarely take full stories. Normally, the stories that I take are writing collaborations where I work with the people that the stories happen to, and I do most of the writing myself. But the stories are their stories, which they tell me, and I write down. So, but most of them are written by me. But they're not any less true just because they're written by proxy.
Right.
So it's just that most people can't. When I read a story, if I'm going to be narrating, I'd like to read it in my own voice.
And not
And if
everyone can
but I
express
meet
themselves in written word.
right, it's sometimes very difficult for me to to read anything out loud. Even when I read The Raven, if you go back and listen to it, I changed a few of the words because I couldn't read some of them the way that they were. And even if you read, or listen to my stories and follow along in Reddit, so you'd see the actual script, and sometimes I'll change the words as I go on because I can't read it the way that it came out. And Best Supporting Actress is coming out, so I'll talk about this while we're doing it. Laura Dern in Marriage Story. I watched Marriage Story last night. I liked it. It's pretty good. Jojo Rabbit, Scarlett Johansson playing his mom. She was actually really, 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 really good. Now, surprisingly enough, Kathy Bates here. Well, no, not surprising that Kathy Bates is nominated. Kathy Bates is amazing. The surprise is that I have not seen that movie. I've seen all these acting performances except for Kathy Bates, and Kathy Bates is she's my favorite. I love her. I love everything she's ever done. I've never seen that woman give a performance that was not worth watching. So
Ha! I love that one too. Thanks so much. The technical difficulties is one of my favorites. I did a lot of work on that because I had to do a
yeah,
lot of drawing.
well that one was true though. So
Yes, he
he
did.
he
He did chew the cord, didn't he?
he chewed through the actual cord, and
I was doing
she
that for
started
him
that
and
shirt.
specifically for something.
Yeah.
Which Ichigo has always been a cord chewer. It's a bit of an issue.
So, but this is going to be Laura Dern. Rosalind, I I don't know. You'd have to kind of give me a little bit more information. There are times when I do narrate stories that I go. Wait, let me rephrase that. I get a lot of emails, a lot of emails, and I do sometimes miss them. So I don't know which stories you sent, but Laura Dern one, which everyone knew to. But yeah, it's something that I have to maybe if you have them still, or the email you sent them to me in, maybe re-forward it to me, and I'll make sure that I look at it right after the stream so it doesn't get lost. But there are times I've noticed because I get so many emails that I sometimes miss them. So that might have happened if I don't know. If I never responded to you, so I always try to respond when people send me stories. If I didn't respond to you, that means I probably missed the email. And if I did, I apologize. But just resend it and I'll go back to it. I wonder if Laura Dern is the first person to win an Oscar to thank Netflix.
That's an interesting thought.
Yeah. Well, Netflix got more nominations than any other like production company this year.
Yeah, Ichigo is my big teddy bear, and I cuddle with him. He actually will come up and demand that I put my arm around him so that we can cuddle. It's hilarious and adorable. And he's just a
And if you
little
get
one.
mad at it, if you get mad at Ichigo, that's what he'll do. He'll start cuddling with you.
Yes, he
He'll
will.
start he'll start rubbing his head up against you and hugging you and being like, "You can't be mad at me. I'm too cute." See, Christine gets it. 1 minute documentary about making a 1 minute documentary sounds like an Oscar-winning film. I'm like copywriting this right now. So
I'm sorry if you can hear me drinking my drink. I can't reach the mute button. I can barely reach my drink. I don't even know how well you guys can hear me because Althea keeps moving the mic.
You're a little muffled sounding, but we're all just hanging out, so it's not a big deal.
That's true. So I've got a Konohamaru on my sore left arm, an Ichigo next to him, and an Althea on my chest. Thankfully, Kujo and Ash
Oh,
got up.
Rosalind, just type your email address into the chat, and I will do a search for it real quick through my Gmail. That'd be the best way for me to find it. I can't believe I didn't think of that beforehand. So, Robo's director last year won the Oscar. Yeah, I remember and don't quite agree with that one. Sam Mendes is probably going to win the Oscar for 1917, and I don't agree with that either. It's probably the entire thing goes behind. If you guys haven't seen it, 1917 is filmed as being. It's supposed to look like it's one continuous camera cut. It's not. They use invisible cuts during the film. A couple times you can tell when they do. Uh, but it's not like that's a revolutionary idea. People have been making one cut movies, for longer than most of us have been alive. I mean, after
True.
Hitchcock made Rope. Now, Rope wasn't a one cut movie because it would have been impossible to make a movie that long back then with one cut. But he used invisible cuts to make it so Rope appears to be one continuous cut. 1917 is meant to look like, but it's not a revolutionary idea, and that's my problem with it. People are treating it like, oh, this is neat, this is neat, this is neat. There's a Russian movie I've never seen.
Okay, I just want
There's a
to.
Russian movie I was a Russian movie I've never seen and never will see. That was a one cut that lasted for like uh 6 hours, and it was a true one cut. So it's not revolutionary.
Okay,
Where to
Oscar,
find the emails?
I DM'd you her emails. I'm going to remove that so people don't have her email on here.
Oh, okay.
That way it's just not in chat for other people to get. So
Right.
I copied it and DM'd it to you. So you still have the information, but other people can't see it.
That's the address to send stories to. Foxblocking44@gmail.com. Women are like tea bags. You don't know their strength. I don't think that makes sense. Women are like tea bags. You don't know their strength.
Because tea can be really, really strong if you let it sit.
Yeah, but so can a lot of things. I mean,
Yeah, tea bag is a poor choice, I think.
oh my God, you sent me a story 4.5 years ago.
Damn.
I'm so sorry. Let me. Wow. I feel like a real heel right now. I apologize if I never got narrated that, but yeah, that would have been kind of a big thing back then. Let me here. Make sure I'm getting. I don't have time to read through it at the moment because I'm doing the stream, but I'll check it out. I'll check it out right after the stream and send you a response to it. And again, sorry that it's taken so many years. But yeah, I have it now, so and I feel like a big jerk. So,
I'm like
but
1,000 degrees because the cats are lying on me and they're hot.
oh snap! So let's see what's going on here now. Well, people talking in the crowds. I've never seen them do that. Who is this person? And who goes to the Oscars dressed like that?
I would totally comment if I was able to watch it at the same time.
Uh, oh, they're doing a song again. Oh, thanks. I just didn't want to be a bother. No. Reminding me of stuff isn't a bother. I'm very. There could be a million things that happened. I could have missed the email. I didn't miss the email because I responded to you, so I didn't miss it. But the other thing is I'm extremely absent-minded, and I don't mean to be, but I am.
This is true.
So if you remind me of stuff, then I don't get annoyed and don't consider it to be a bother. I consider it to be a favor. So feel free to say, "Hey, you forgot about me. Hey, you forgot about."
He has to tell me to feel free to remind him of things all the time, and I should know better.
Me. I will forget if like right now. I had to sit down a note. I put down a notepad and wrote about checking the stories after the stream because if I didn't do that, I would forget. Rosie, I have a story about a stalker. I'll write it down before I send it. I appreciate it. I definitely look forward to seeing that. The person before Lynn was also in Hamilton. I've not seen Hamilton.
Me
I'm,
either.
I'm
I'd
not a
like
big.
to.
I'm not the biggest fan of musicals. So. Okay.
Okay, what?
They were just showing the scene of Tom Cruise sliding across the room in his underwear from
Oh,
Risky Business. They're showing a lot of '80s movies here. Oh, The Breakfast Club. One movie that I couldn't understand why people loved that movie so much. Now, if at the end of the movie Freddy Krueger came in and slashed everybody up, then you
eh,
have a movie. Then you have a movie,
there you
and he
go.
eats them for breakfast, and that's
Ew.
why they're the Breakfast Club.
Whenever did
That would have been so much better. Sorry, didn't mean to yell over you, but that would have been better. I'm sorry. I know that movie is a classic. I know that almost everybody in the whole world besides me likes it. I
I
just
don't
don't like it.
I don't think I've ever actually watched it all the way through. Like I saw the end of it when I was younger and it was on TV at some point, and at some other point I saw the beginning of it. So I know what happens, but I don't think I've ever actually sat down and watched it, and I've never really kind of wanted to. It seems depressing.
Just read. I see that they are showcasing the music. Looks like they're uh, even though it's funny because a lot of the songs weren't songs that were even able to be nominated for Oscars, like "I Will Always Love You," since it wasn't an original song. But see, when Moulin Rouge came out, I thought that movie should have won Best Picture that year. Of course, it was that dreadful movie, A Beautiful Mind, that won, and
Oh,
that movie was painful to watch. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if anyone here likes it, but I hate that movie so much that if I could tear up every copy of it in the world, I would.
I was actually disturbed by it until you explained to me that that is absolutely nothing like what schizophrenia is.
No, it's not. And that maybe that's one of the reasons I didn't like. I don't like bad portrayals of psychiatric disorders in movies when it just gets on my nerves and it makes me want to wring somebody's neck. See, there you go. There's a movie for you. There's a movie for you. A psychologist watches movies and sees bad portrayals of people with psychiatric disorders, so he goes and he kills them.
I like that.
Yep.
So he obviously has a psychiatric disorder of his own.
See, meta.
There's Konohamaru leaning on the mic again.
That would pretty much make him a sociopath.
Right. I like that.
Oh, it's one of those things that I should probably write down, or I'll just forget about it.
Probably. Though I have no idea where I've written down all these things that we're supposed to write down. I bet you there's a ton of them on my laptop, saved in a note of things that I just want to save for later.
Yeah.
I should really get on my laptop again soon. You know, if the duct tape's still holding up. Last time I got on it to transfer files to the new computer, I was like scared of it.
So see, he writes it down. I just wrote it down too. That's why I was quiet there for a second. I can't. Oh, I can write and listen to people at the same time, but I can't write and talk at the same time. So I made sure I wrote that down. I mean, at the very least, if it didn't become a movie, it might make good creepypasta.
This is true.
You know, it's really weird how I'll talk about how I started doing all this. Is I don't know if most people know what happened, but you know, when the horror thing was starting, people weren't doing true stories; they were doing creepypastas. Although some people were claiming that creepypastas were true, and you know, it's how I got started in horror on YouTube was by listening to creepypastas. I really like Creeps McPasta in the beginning. I enjoyed this, but I have to work early tomorrow, so good night. Good night, Rosalind. Thank you for showing up, and really glad that you've been here. Hope you
Night.
sleep well. Bryce, see, you're good at coming with ideas. Just write them down and see which one. Yeah, I see. This is as I come up with the ideas, but I forget them all the time. So yes, I have to write them down.
I wish we had a
But thank
PS4,
you.
Dan.
No, we do not have a PS4.
As it is, I really am hoping to get a Switch, but it's like my mom might have to take up donations for my birthday in order to get a Switch for me.
Great Equester. Hey, KOC. Well, hey back. Reed, just still trying to work on the Flash movie script. I'll get there eventually. But yeah, it's. I started listening to the creepypastas, creepypasta, um, Mr. Creepypasta. He possibly Ginger to a lesser extent. King Spook, who originally was not doing true stories, he was doing pasta. And if you looked at most of the narrators back then, most of them were doing creepypasta. Then Mr. Nightmare, he actually wasn't nearly as popular as he is right now. He had about 50,000 subscribers. And I always remember it because when he was about to hit 50,000, he changed his name by accident and couldn't change it back.
Oh
And
no.
he was really upset because he wanted to have Mr. Nightmare as the name when he hit 50,000. Fortunately, he worked something out with YouTube and they let him change it back. But he was doing true stories. And all of a sudden, doing the true stories, he started getting more and more views. And I remember listening to a video of his where he says, I got to do more true stories because these are the ones you guys seem to really be listening to. So please direct me to more true stories. And that is when people on YouTube started going to Let's Not Me. And I remember for the longest time, it was Let's Not Me. Everyone was doing Let's Not Me. It was just like more narrators just appearing out of nowhere. And so I wasn't going to do it because I just didn't want to be another one of them. And it was when I was listening one night because you know I listened all night usually because I slept during the day, listened all night to scary stories because they're good to listen to in the dark. And I would listen to King Spook do 3 or 4 scary stories. Great, wonderful. So then I switch over to another narrator, uh, Lazy Masquerade, for example, and he does 3 stories, but 2 of those stories are the same 2 stories that King Spook read. So I'm like, okay, I'll go past that. Go past that. So I'll jump over to what's another good example? Uh, Be Busta, and he'll have 5 stories in this video. 2 of the stories would have been on the King Spook video, and 2 of them would have been on the Lady Masquerade video. It's like I was like wanting to just like kind of lay down and let the stories play, and not have to get up and be like, well, I just heard that story. I don't want to hear it again. Change it. And it was really getting on my nerves. And that was when I thought, why don't I do a channel based on stories you're not going to read anywhere else? And that's the reason I don't let other people do my stories. Because people ask. There's 1 or 2 times I've let people do it. But I said I try to tell people I can't let you read the stories because you kind of take away the entire point of my channel then. And the entire point is that you can come here and hear stories that you don't hear anywhere else.
Yep.
And if you hear them somewhere else, let me know, because only a few people have ever had permission to read my stories. I have had people come onto my channel and say, I've heard these stories before, when they're brand new stories, and it's like, you shouldn't have. So, Saturday was my birthday. Well, happy late birthday, Dan. I think I gave you a happy birthday before, too. Sound editing. I know this. This is the award that everyone has been looking forward to all night, hasn't it? This
know,
is
right?
the top. Yeah, this is the top one. Sound editing. So, wow. I'm just. Ooh. May I say you sound like Harrison? I think you mean Woody Harrelson. But do I really?
I don't know. I've never thought about it. I'd have to listen to the two of you at the same.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind sounding like Woody Harrelson. I love him and just about everything he's been in.
Agreed.
From playing Woody in Cheers to so Reach thinks it too. Oh, thank you, Rosie. I'm glad I started the channel too, and I hope that I've been able to at least do my best to live up to the model that I was putting out there. And there are occasions where I will read a story that I will say this thing. I'm going to stop here and go back to the movies. 1917 probably should win the sound editing. Just I'm not really an expert on that, but that was something. The flamethrower in the pool from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love that. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I don't want to even think about that movie. But yeah. So reading cold things could sound like Woody Harrelson too. Ford versus Ferrari.
We
Wow.
love Zombieland.
Yes, I love Zombieland. I really like the sequel too. The same as I was talking about liking Woody Harrelson earlier. Pretty much, I don't think I've ever seen anything in him that he was great in Three Billboards and oh shit, Ebbings, Missouri. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, a movie that I thought should have won Best Picture of the year that it came out. I know that Frances McDormand too is one of my favorite actresses. Won Best Actress for that one, and made a bit of a political speech when it happened, which is fine. I like her so, but I think I just heard a little bit of Woody Harrelson in the way that I said something. Maybe not the sound of the voice, but the way I transferred to one word to the other. I did hear it. Now I'm scared. Not. I'm just kidding. I don't listen to my voice if I can avoid it.
I know, me either.
Yeah, I think most of us are like. I think most of you here think about that too. I don't know if you guys what's the name I'm looking for. Ron Perlman, the guy who plays Hellboy, who also played in the show Beauty and the Beast, and he doesn't. He will never. He says he's never in his life watched a movie that or a TV show that he was in because he just can't stand to see it. I can't say I'm 100% like that, but yeah, I don't. If I turn on one of my videos or one of my videos starts playing, I will quickly try to turn it off. And that actually became quite a bit of a thing for a while when we were watching YouTube on the PlayStation 3, playing the entire thing. Whenever YouTube would go over to one of my videos, everybody would go to turn it off real quick because they knew it would bug me.
Okay,
Nope, it's your
something just
voice, bro.
happened. What the fuck?
What?
Are we still streaming? My
Should be.
Internet Explorer, or not Internet Explorer, Chrome got closed. Shit.
And that actually became quite a bit of a thing. Because it's still streaming, so YouTube on the PlayStation 3 had evil, and yes, I will YouTube go to Redbox way too much.
That's just weird. I guess I just didn't have to have it open the whole time.
Well, thank you. Yeah. So, everything's still working for me, so.
Alright, well that's just freaking weird. I guess I'll just
You know, my voice.
It open like everybody else's then. I'm really confused right now, but okay.
My voice comes from a lot of different things. I was born in California. I've lived in the South, in Virginia and South Carolina. I've lived in Ohio, Kentucky. I've lived in Chicago, Wisconsin. When I was a teenager and I moved to Chicago, I had a bit of a Southern drawl. But everyone in my family has, except for me, because I deliberately took steps to lose it. Now, even though I'm back, because I've been in Tennessee for 6 years, almost 7 years. It'll be 7 years in September.
God.
Sheesh, need to go back to Chicago.
Hell yeah.
But I don't think I've picked the accent back up, which I'm happy about. So, and again, there's nothing wrong with Southern accent. I'm not saying anybody has a Southern accent. There's anything wrong with it. I just didn't like how it sounded with me. Whatever my voice sounds like now, whatever accent I may or may not have, it's. I'm happy with it the way that it is. So, and I really suck at doing other accents anyway. So, I've tried. Do you like Mortal Kombat movies? I've never seen any of them. Sorry. I was just thinking about voices, and my brain kind of went dim again.
Very few video game movies are ever good.
I'll tell you. I was working once, and after I got out of work, I went and bought a Mortal Kombat game for a portable game system. My mom picked me up from work, and apparently that night they played a news thing, something on the news about the violence in the Mortal Kombat game. She's like, "Oh, so what did you do after work while you were waiting?" I said, "Oh, I went and bought a video game." "Oh yeah, I've been meaning to talk to that. One thing I'm forbidding in the house is the Mortal Kombat games, so don't buy those." It's like, "Well, I just did." But it's just on my portable. It's just on my portable system though. So.
That's so funny.
Oh, it's still. Data, if you mean the southern accent's back, thanks for telling me then. So at least I'll just deal with it at this point.
I can't hear it, but I can hear it in other people around here.
Christine, my top narrator channel is Killer Orange Cat. Well, thank you. Second, Dixie Cryptid, and sometimes Mortis, but Killer is my absolute favorite. Oh, thank you. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, I love her. I didn't get to see Harriet either, which I kind of regret because I didn't get to see a lot of the movies where the women are nominated for best actress, which, if you know anything about me, is very odd. The rebooted Tomb Raider is really underrated. I haven't seen any of the Tomb Raider movies. I'm trying to think about movies based off video games that I've seen that I may have liked, and I'm sure there's got to be some. But
yeah, I know there has to be at least one out there that's good.
I remember some of the like really bizarre, awful ones that they had come out with in the early video game movie, Super Mario. And I'm trying to think of some. I haven't seen Mortal Kombat. I would assume that Pokemon movies are probably pretty good because they're probably pretty close to the games, anyways. I remember seeing Silent Hill when I had Detective Pikachu. I've heard that. That was. But I'm trying to think of. I know there's got to be something. Now, while I'm looking and thinking about, I'll tell you guys when I lived in Verona, Wisconsin, because I wanted to go. I was even though I ended up going back to Illinois because I wouldn't be able to meet certain residency requirements, even living in Wisconsin. My dream school was the University of Madison or University of Wisconsin at Madison. That was my dream school, and I tried really hard to. It's really expensive though, and more so if you're out of state. And they're not going to give Wisconsin State School is not going to give a discount to anyone in Illinois because as if you don't know this, they call us FIPS, fucking Illinois people, and uh, so I tried to get it all figured out, and there was just no way. It would have taken years for me to come anywhere close to being able to get into that school and afford it, and there was just no way. So I came back to Illinois, went back to community college, and after community college, I left, and then I went to Northern Illinois University. Yeah, Silent Hill was fairly morbid. I think for me, the scene where, and I'm sorry if people haven't seen this, and I don't not because I'm giving anything away, just because it's kind of gross. I Where the cop is tied to a post and put over her fist, and her body melts because she's over a fire. That was just too much. And here we go. I'm looking through some some movies based off video games. And before I go there, I'll answer Dave's question. There, I live in Tennessee right now, but it's northern Tennessee. We're only like an hour away from Illinois.
That's our
But
coffee shop.
Here we go. I remember going to the movie theater to see House of the Dead. When I went into that movie theater, it was packed. Within 5 minutes of the movie starting, people started to walk out. I loved watching the movie. Was awful, but I loved it. I loved it. So to me, it was so bad it was good. But the thing I enjoyed most about that movie was watching the people leave for this packed theater. By the time that movie was over, there was less than 10 people left. And I don't know if I'd ever watch the movie again, but I enjoyed that so much. It was so fun watching everybody leave.
That kind of, I think, is what was going on when I went to see Tron too.
But yeah, that's more of a hey, I enjoyed a bad movie. I'm still trying to think of if there is one that is appreciated as a good movie. And there's like something like at the tip of my brain, but it's just not coming out.
There are very few movies I've ever walked out on. House on Haunted Hill and Tron 2. I'm pretty sure I even stayed for Edward Scissorhands, though I got sick.
Wait, how did you watch? You didn't walk out on the House on Haunted Hill. You saw it with me and Mom. You saw this whole thing.
We left. No, Mom took me out. I couldn't make it past.
Oh,
I couldn't make it past the opening sequence. It made me sick to my stomach. She might have gone back in with you, but
Okay.
she took me out. I always remember that.
Oh.
It was just too disturbing for me. You know, that weird flicker effect I don't like. It made me sick.
Have you seen the movie The Turning? I don't think so. What is it about?
Sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, it sounds like I sort of feel like maybe I've heard of it, or that somebody may have asked me that question recently. So that might. But yeah, if you tell me what it is, I might be able to figure it out from there.
Back up. Oh no.
Now, just
Now
see
I've
while
got
we're talking here, what's up?
now I've got a Drusilla on me too. That's just dangerous. That's
I'm
2 black cats.
cinematography. I like the cinematography category because so very few people know what it even is. It amuses me. Uh, I remember you used to watch things like Saturday Night Live
Mhm.
and some other things where they would do Oscar presentations, and the running joke was always that they never knew what cinematography was. And I always tell cinematography is the one thing that you can't make a movie without because that's the camera work.
Mhm.
That's the actual picture. So 1917 won the best cinematography. Some of my family members from Vermont have a twang in their voice, but I do not. You know, there were actually plenty of northern states. If you go to the southern part of the northern states where they have southern accents, I've noticed that a bit. 'Cause I've been all around this country, and I've seen accents. Yes, I've seen accents. I go walk around, and what happens is when I talk to people, these big white bubbles come out of their mouth with words on it. Yes, I've seen accents. So let me just rephrase. I've heard accents all over the place, and yeah, it's some of them can be pretty interesting what you see here. And you know, again, there's a movie I'm really trying to think of based on a video game that I liked, and I can't for the life of me pull it out. It's driving me crazy, and it'll probably put me in the hospital. Me not being able to figure things out just makes me crazy. Oh, sometimes I like to go a little crazy. I'm sorry if you guys don't know that, but if you've ever seen, um,
Don't be a menace to South Central.
don't
You're
be a
gonna
Me-
get juice in the hood.
yeah, if you've ever seen Don't Be a Menace, there's a scene where uh, a guy and a girl are out in the car about to have sex. The girl's shy. He keeps on going. Sometimes I can get a little crazy, and he wants her to get crazy until she finally decides to get crazy, and her head shakes around, and she turns into a demon. And it's like I've seen that scene like 5,000 times in my life, and
It's still
each time I
hilarious.
see it, I die laughing. See, that's why I'm glad to have so many to have the cat thing going on in all the many different lives because that thing kills me each time I see it.
I know, right?
Yep. You know what might be interesting, and it might actually come to what I think that is happening right here when I'm saying that I'm trying to think of a movie based off a video game that I thought was good,
Mhm.
and now that I'm really thinking about it, I bet I was wrong. I bet what I'm thinking about is that there was a good video game based off a movie,
I just thought the same thing.
and that would be GoldenEye,
Ah, true, true.
and that's probably what I was thinking because going through my head, I just can't really think of. I really just can't think of one.
Yes,
I
we
like
remember Pee Wee Herman.
I like the early '80s movie Cloak and Dagger about video games, but it wasn't based off one.
Talking about multiple deaths, I need to share with you that link to here. I'll pull it up somewhere to my friend's AI dungeon thing. It was freaking hilarious. Basically, he can't get rid of his wife, no matter how hard he tries. See if I can look him up because I'm still under your account and I'm afraid to leave it.
Yeah, I just don't kill everybody. I do have that kill everybody button on my account.
Watch out!
Just
Watch
don't
out!
push
Watch
it.
out! Okay, here he is.
So anyhow, yep, all the time I spent trying to find out, I was wrong. It doesn't exist.
That is not him. Okay.
I would hang my head in shame, but hey, I'm not ashamed. So, thank you. So, you know a lot. You're fluent in Japanese and impressively great role model. Well, thank you. I do make some good roles. No, Reach. The Cloak and Dagger. It's not a Marvel character. It's a movie that came out in 1984 about a boy who gets a Atari 2600 cartridge stuck in his bag, but it's got some secret plans on it from these spies, and he takes it, and it's also got like this what's it what is it Jack something, who's like his imaginary friend who helps out through it. It's a fun movie, very 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 80s, and just something I was a big part of my kid. Jack Black, was that? No, Jack. It rhymes. That's all I remember, is that it rhymes.
There, if any,
Jack Flack. Jack Flack. So
if anybody wants to be amused, or if you don't know what AI Dungeon is, it's like a text-based game, but it's generated through AI as you play it. So everything is different every time. And my friend just made a video of himself playing it, and it just what happens in it is just hilarious. But it's mostly him reading. So I just wanted to warn you. But there's the link if anybody's interested.
The Wizard was a fun game, but fun movie-based game. But basically, it was really just an advertisement for Super Mario Brothers 3.
This is true. But do you remember enjoying it?
Oh. KOC, how old are you? Good question. Moving on. I'm sorry, Date. I don't answer that question. And again, as I tell people, it has nothing to do with me being ashamed of how old or younger, middle aged or whatever, or younger than I am, or older than you might think, or younger than you might think. I just don't tell anyone my age, because all my age is how many times the Earth has gone around the sun since I've been born.
He's older than
It
me, but
tells you
younger than our mom.
it tells you more about my age, tells you more about the Earth than it tells you about me. So let's just say I'm
Power glove.
my age. I'll tell you my age in cat years. Well, see, Reach gets it. I'm however old you want me.
He's timeless.
Thank you. I bet I'm older than you. Well, I mean, if you want to share your age, go ahead. But I might or might not tell you if you're right or not. We'll see. My sister and I recently watched The Night of the Comet for the first time. That was such an enjoyable film. Yes, that was.
I do not
You know, I
recall.
just I love so many bad '80s movies. I mean, it's just that it's just of how silly a whole lot of them could be. But yeah, The Night of the Comet was very very enjoyable. And yeah, it's another movie based around video games, but not really about a real video game. I wouldn't really know how to explain it though. It's something that was it involves zombies, of course, because what movies don't involve zombies.
Konohamaru has just been lying on me as dead weight since the stream started.
But yeah, it's. I remember bits and pieces of it, but I do remember enjoying it. Well, guys, we've been through 2 hours already doing this, and of course we talked about a million other things in the Oscars. Since they only do a few, of the really big awards early in the show. KOC, you are old enough to know better, but young enough to still have fun. Thank you. I should tell people that one from now on. Sounds like 37. Well, I'll tell you. All I'll tell you is this: a lot of people say I sound older than I am. So I'll let you think about that. He's a goofy guy. Me? I hope you mean me, because I'd take that as a big compliment. Did I enjoy Warm Bodies? I've not seen it yet. It is on my list of movies to see, but I have not seen it yet. And there are a few times I've come close, but not yet. It is, if I'm not mistaken, on Hulu, so I will probably be checking it out. I'm still waiting for if it hasn't come out yet, because I have been watching the Into the Dark series on Hulu and have been really enjoying it, and that's where they've been coming out with a a horror movie every month that has to do with a holiday during the month. And a lot of them are really bad, but hey, they're horror.
Mhm.
And some of them are really good. That's what you always got to do. Oh yeah, it is out. The new one is out, called My Valentine. But yeah, it's. I don't go into a horror movie, some horror movies, thinking this has to be like made so well. It's got to be like perfect for me to like it. A lot of horror movies are bad. If people don't like watching bad horror movies, I'm not really sure why they watch horror movies at all, because so many of them are bad. But that's one of the things that usually makes them enjoyable, and a lot of horror movies are bad because they don't follow movie rules. But we don't want them to. That movie good. You smart. Put your verbs in there. Ever thought about doing 100 movies you've never seen list? I did mine at the start of the year, and it was surprisingly tough. No, but I know they're probably. I could probably do it.
I would think so.
I mean, I know a lot of movies, so being a movie buff, I know a lot of movies that I haven't seen, and I know a lot of movies I will never see. I thought you were much older when I started listening to you, chalked up to being an old soul. Well, again, it doesn't. It's just not a big deal one way or the other. It's I'm just me, so I'm not some like 21 year old who's like, ooh, I gotta get on YouTube and stuff. It's so I'll tell you that much at least. But I've done a whole lot in my life, and if I told you everything that I've done, all the things I've been through, all the adventures I've had, all the traveling I've done, you would probably think I had to be much older than I am in order for any of that to happen.
Top 5 movies you'll never watch.
Don't tell me what to do, Jake. I do thing how I want to do things. Well, you forgot your plural there. So even though even though you remembered the verbs this time, forgot your plural there. Uh, top 5 movies I'll never watch. Hoo hoo hoo.
That's okay.
You
Just
know,
make sure to catch
that,
him when
that
he makes a mistake. That's what I do.
yeah. I tend to leave words out, because my mind goes faster than my fingers.
Me too.
I hope you took that as a compliment. Yes, I did, Rosie. I took a big compliment. Top, a periods of ellipsis only have 3 periods, not
Oh my
5.
god, you're being such a dick.
Hey, and I win this round.
Oh, that's great. Hello
I
again,
never forget the
Ichigo.
periods of
Ow.
ellipsis because I used to use like 4 or 5 or stuff, and then I got like the teacher's like, "You're smarter than this." You ever watch Trick or Treat? It's different for a horror movie. Um, was that the Trick or Treat? Was that the anthology? Oh, come on! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The periods of ellipsis are a thing for me. I have to be specific about it. No, if Trick or Treat's the anthology film, I did see that. It came out a few years ago. I really liked it. Probably I've seen some pretty good anthology films, some new ones too. When I tried Amazon Prime for the free trial, and they have a lot of lesser known movies on there, and there were some really good, really unknown anthology films that I really enjoyed. Well, Regan, I can't say anything right now because you say, "Oh, come on." That's completely grammatically correct.
Mhm.
So, and so as you win this round. So see, look, you're doing much better already.
There you go.
I used to watch Elvira, Misses the Dark, some real B-rated movies. I think I might have Elvira, Misses the Dark memorized.
Elvira's awesome.
Well, our best actor is coming up next. We all know who that's the one award. We all know what it's going to be, unless there's some amazingly huge upset. But anyhow, I'm supposed to be listing movies that I'll never ever watch, aren't I?
Hello, Texas T.
Hey, Texas Steve. Oh, how about we do this? Since we're doing this, we're talking about movies and watching the Oscars. How about we all list some movies that we'll never watch? And that might be a good thing to do. Might be interesting.
Drusilla's messing with the
I can
mouse.
tell you the top. I can tell you easily, the number one movie I will never ever watch. Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas.
Oh my lord.
I would prefer you to skin me alive and put me in salt than to have to watch that movie. And
Is
I've
it
read
Doctor Lemon?
descriptions of it. I've read descriptions of it. Now, first off, uh, and it isn't even a religious thing because I'm religious myself. But Kirk Cameron is one of the most annoying human beings that has ever been put on Earth. I mean, he's such a pretentious fuck who thinks he's better than everybody, and he's a moron who can't act, who can't write, who has absolutely no discernible talent. He got to be in Growing Pains because he looked kind of cute when he was a kid, but I don't know. I would like to pummel him, and not that's Ugh, I'm sorry. He really annoys the fuck out of me.
I would never watch Human Centipede either. The South Park
I've
Human
seen par-
Centipede was enough.
I've seen parts of Human Centipede. I've seen parts of Human Centipede.
You won't watch Porky's? Porky's is awesome. I was way too young when I saw that movie.
I was way too young when I saw it too.
I know.
Uh, But yeah, Porky's I've seen a lot of times. You know what I like about Porky's is the principle. The principle in Porky's was hilarious. But yeah, Saving Christmas would be number one no matter what.
Hey, Christine, if you've seen my video and you say that I look 26, I take that as a really good compliment. I would thank you for that.
Rosie, I agree with you. I will never watch the remake of Last House on. I will never watch the original again. But here's the thing about that. What's the name of that babe in the back in the background? I don't know. I have to ask her.
Huh?
But the uh, I think Last House on the Left, the original, was a brilliant film. But it's not a film you watch more than once. It's not a film you watch because hey, I want to enjoy a movie. It's well made and it tells a deep, dark story, but it's not a movie that I could ever watch again. Even though if I had to rate it, I would rate it high. I would give it probably a perfect four-star rating.
I don't know if porn counts, but I'd never watched The Devil and Mrs. Jones. That's the name of it, right? That
I
old
don't
one.
know.
That old one that Mom said that Dad made her watch.
Oh, I don't have any memory of that.
Oh, okay. Well, if that was the name of it, I will never watch it.
Oh, great. Dressed up as cats.
What about dressing up as cats?
James Corden and whoever's with him are dressed up as
Oh,
cats
because of cats.
because they were in Cats.
Um,
Their suits now look much better than they did in the.
Film Theory did an interesting theory on that one about how it's how the cats are all in a cult, and everything he said seemed to make perfect sense to me. Seems like the movie was even just. I mean, I've never actually seen it, but it kind of seems like if everything he said was accurate, that's exactly what they were going for.
It is what they were going for.
Okay.
Yeah. So that his film theory wasn't really that original.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you like Animal House? I've never seen it, which is probably surprising.
There we go.
I've seen most college movies, most college movies ever made, I guess, but I've not seen Animal House. I do not know why.
Buffy's lying
But
to be clear.
The Irishman is nominated for best visual effects because they make everyone look older. Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
I'm
that's
sitting
our
here
movie.
wondering, what? Yeah. Well, they did a pretty good job at it, but I just thought it was makeup, but I guess it was CGI. Last House on the Left was a remake of The Virgin Spring.
No idea about that.
Yeah, I guess it would make sense. I haven't seen. I knew it came. I've heard of that. I know it came out beforehand, but I haven't really ever heard that before. But if you know it more, then it makes sense. I can't really say. That's neat. 1917 wins Best Special Effects. Endgame's only nomination, even though everyone wanted RDJ for Best Actor because people are weird. Oh, Robert Downey Jr. for Best Actor. I like him, but you can't. This what his like sixth or seventh movie playing Iron Man in. It would be very odd to nominate him for a character he's played 7 times.
True.
That would be it'd be like a first that's ever happened. God, even if you remember the in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the only actor to ever get an acting nomination for it was Ian McKellen for the first movie,
Mhm.
and he did not get nominated again for the second or the third movie, though he made a good case for it in both.
Mhm.
But they don't tend to nominate somebody who themselves have played a character again. But interesting enough, there are there's at least one person I can think of off the top of my head, one character played by two different people, and they both won Best Actor for it, if I'm not mistaken, or not Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor.
Mhm.
'Cause if I'm not mistaken, Marlon Brando won Best Actor for playing Don Corleone in The Godfather,
Oh, that's cool.
and and
One of these days I'll
Robert
watch that.
Robert De Niro won Best Supporting Actor for playing Don Corleone in The Godfather Part Two.
I've annoyingly seen Godfather 3 like a bunch of times. It was always on TV for some reason,
Hmm.
but I've never actually watched The Godfather.
I could not. I watched it, but I fell asleep several times during it. I do not. I'm one of the few people that this is. There's that scene from Family Guy where Peter Griffin tells everybody that
Right.
that he doesn't like The Godfather, and they all get on his case about it. And I always like that because that's what it is with me. I hated The Godfather. I thought it was pretentious crap, and but you can't tell anybody that because they'll kill you. Oh
Mhm.
no, that movie was perfect. It was great. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. Well, in your opinion, yes. In my opinion, no. In my opinion, no. I just didn't care for it. I detest Godfather 3. Never saw it. Never will. I said I had such a hard problem watching the first one. I just don't want to have any reason to watch the second one. Even though people say the second one was better than the first, but it's like no. I'm sorry. If it means it's better in the way that people thought The Godfather was good, then in my opinion, that'd probably make it worse. But anyhow, I'll stop. I'll stop. I will stop ranting there.
Having Konohamaru lie on you is like having a 2-year-old lie on you.
Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, Bonnie. I love you. Andrew Hughes, Sigourney Weaver was nominated for Best Actress for Aliens, if that counts. If I'm not, oh, I think you're. I think that she was nominated for Alien and Alien, so I think you're right.
The first R-rated movie I saw in theaters, Aliens.
So yeah, but it's. I didn't think about that, so thank you for that. I appreciate you pointing that out. And like I said again, I think she was nominated for both of them. If I was not mistaken. And oh, let me check. Oh, nope, I'm wrong. She wasn't nominated for the first one, but she was nominated for Alien. So, but you're right that you are correct.
We love you too.
Y'all crazy. Godfather is great. Sir, sorry, we can't enjoy that. It's a great movie shouldn't put me to sleep. A great movie should keep my eyes, enwrapped onto the television set.
There is something else I watched lately that everybody said was great that I fell asleep to. I don't remember what it was. Damn.
Christine, National Lampoon's Vacation, of course. Love that. Although now I'm going to have that song on my head for the next 3 days.
I only like
Um,
rom-coms. I don't like the chick flicks that get all sad.
I like the occasional chick flick.
Very rarely there's a good one that I like. But most of
I,
the time when they get sick and die and crap like that, I don't like that. I don't want to cry too much. Well, I don't anyway. It just makes me sick to my stomach. But anyway,
Sigourney Weaver was excellent in Alien, especially in the t-shirt scenes. Weren't those like wife beaters almost that she was wearing?
I don't
Which
remember.
is ironic. But then again, it's been a long time since I've seen it. It was one of those movies that made a wonderful impression on me, but I just didn't feel like watching it again, I guess.
One day we gotta get a camera and we can just put during live streams we could just put it on the cats. and everybody could just watch the cats.
Well, yeah, but then they'll probably do something weird.
Like what?
Only because they're my cat. Well, you're around these cats 24 hours a day, and you can't think of the weird shit they do.
Not that would be upsetting to people on the stream.
You
Like
yell at them all the time, so obviously there are things that will upset.
That's because
You're
they're
not
my
think you're not
children that I take after mom.
you're not thinking clearly here.
Okay, fine. Princess Bride was a great movie.
I just saw Richard Jewell a few weeks ago. It was pretty good. I don't know that one, and I haven't seen The Ninth Gate either. I'd have to watch those before I could tell you. Serendipity. I don't think I've seen that either.
When I worked at Blockbuster, one of the managers there, uh, Danny, he was the one that was younger than me. He was only like 18, but that was like his favorite movie.
The Ninth Gate.
No, Serendipity,
Oh.
which I just thought was interesting that that guy's favorite movie was basically a chick flick. But he was a cool guy. I liked him.
Oh. I'll never watch the Jerky Boys movie. In fact, the very idea that the Jerky Boys had a movie is pretty awful.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure I'll never watch Freddy Got Fingered because I'm never going to watch a movie called Freddy Got Fingered, and I don't really feel like watching Tom Green give a horse a hand job.
Yeah, me either.
Because yes, it's happened in the film,
Alrighty then.
and he did it. And according to him, he did it for real. So
Alrighty then. Horse abuse.
no, he said the horse was happy.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I was just joking.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think if I remember Tom Green's exact words, I had a big smile on my face, and so did the horse.
Oh Lord.
What about the Child's Play Chucky movies? I've seen every single one of them, and I pretty much liked them all. Okay, well, first of all, Rose, if I'm not mistaken, the meaning of it, Freddy Got Fingered isn't probably what you're thinking of. I think they mean fingered as in identified.
I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Yeah. But I've never seen it. I know that the name was put in there like that to give the impression that most people do get, but the actual reference was to him being identified by somebody. So, but I'm not 100% sure because I'm never going to watch it to see. And yeah, I liked all the Child's Play movies, including the remake.
That was really good.
Uh, Even with I like bad horror movies. Some of the sequels were really bad, but they were enjoyable. And Jennifer, once they put Jennifer Tilly into it, she's always fun to watch.
Yes, she is.
I've never seen her in anything that where she just didn't like grab your attention and make you just stare at the screen.
Mhm.
Best international feature film. I think this is one of the more obvious ones too. But I haven't seen them all, but if I'm not mistaken, Parasite is nominated for this, and it probably will win. Check it in the closet and under the bed is live and evil also on the Sunday night. Parasite. I mean, I can't imagine if when you have a movie that's nominated for best international feature film and best picture, it's probably going to win. And Parasite won. Of course, it's very unlikely for a movie to win both best international feature and best picture as I remember back in, if I'm not mistaken, it was 2000 when Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was nominated for Best Foreign Film and Best Picture, and it won Best Foreign Film. And for some reason that the gods cannot explain to me, Gladiator
Oh God.
won Best Picture that year. Gladiator, and I'm just like, how much drugs did the people watching movies have to take that year to
That's
have to even put a movie like Gladiator in the same category as a movie like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Gladiator is the movie that made me realize that I hate the plot idea that the guy's wife and kid get murdered or raped or whatever, and then he goes off for revenge and somehow ends up with a new woman.
Well, it's so weird because they're making it look like, oh, this is a story that's never been done before. It's been done 20,000
Yes,
times.
yes, it has.
Come up with a new idea, and just for the right. Uh, in Texas, you don't worry about it. I'm not saying anything bad about people like Gladiator. We all have our different opinions on movies, so it's movies that I think are terrible. Other people like, it's not a big deal, and I don't hold it against anybody. We all have different things that we enjoy. I wish I didn't see Lost Boys Part 2. That would have been my number 3. I haven't seen it, so
I
I
have
don't think I
not.
ever will. So thank you for letting me know about it, so I can tell you I will not be seeing that movie.
I know, right?
Yeah. I'm ready to drink tonight. You've won 2 awards, man. You've won 2. You've won best original screenplay, and you just won best international film. You go out there and have yourself a bottle of vodka. You earned it. And you wake up with the biggest hangover you've ever had. Take some pills and go back to freaking sleep. You earned it. Obligatory Elton John performance. LOL. Hey, well, at least it's good to actually see that it's him. I've always enjoyed Elton John.
Mhm.
There's just a man of just tremendous talent. I mean, I would love to have his musical ability because he just he just when he writes his songs, he does them like in 10-15 minutes, and that's how good he is. Everyone says that it just comes to him like immediately. But he also says he can only write if you give him the lyrics first. So with Bernie Taupin, what they always do is that he writes the lyrics first and gives the lyrics to Elton John. Elton's like, he reads the lyrics and he already knows the song at the end of it. When they did the music to The Lion King, so he wasn't working with Bernie Taupin, they were working with Tim Rice, and Tim Rice wanted them to work together, to be together in the same room to write the song, and together say, "Hey, I'm doing this. What kind of music would you put to it?" And Elton was like, "No, no, no. He said, just write the lyrics and give them to me, and I'll take care of everything." And Tim Rice was like, "What?" He's like, "No, trust me. It'll be fine. Just write the lyrics, and I'll take care of the rest." And I've always found it really, 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 really nice that he was like that with people because he kind of reassured them, "Don't worry about it; it'll be fine." But he's getting to be he's a kind of a tubby old queen now, though, isn't he? But speaking of bad horror movies, have you ever seen Army of Darkness? Where is Mr. Peabody to say quiet you? I'm sorry. I loved Army. I love Army.
Army of Darkness
One
is
of
awesome.
It's one of my films I watch a lot of times. So a lot of times I'll clean in house. I mean, it was and I mean, no, it's kind of a silly movie, but I just kind of liked about that. So I think one of my favorite things that anyone ever said about John was Billy Joel was on Stephen Colbert once, and Stephen Colbert was saying, you haven't had a new album since 1994. He's like, why not? And Billy Joel's like, well, I think I've had my say. I mean, the Beatles had 12 albums. I had 12 albums. I don't have more say than the Beatles. And Stephen Colbert said to him, well, Elton John thinks you should write another album. And Billy Joel's like, well, I think Elton John should stop writing albums. Because he comes out with 2 men. He comes out, not, he wasn't insulting him, but he says,
Right.
Elton John comes out with an album like,
Right.
every year. So he's got tons and tons of them. Dark Waters, haven't seen that.
So he meant bad as in campy.
Oh, definitely campy.
The
Well, yeah, I
I
hope the Oscar for Best Picture is coming up, because if you just skip it, what's the point of the show?
This is a good point.
See? Ooh, look at M&M's commercial.
M&M's.
Caramel M&M's.
M&M candy bars.
Pretty much M&M anything.
Those are so good.
Yep.
Is there any chocolate left?
There's some crackles.
I might have one in a bit.
Yeah. Yes, Big Kev here sent us a big old bag of Hershey's miniatures. And
Though I understand he claims
we get them. We get them on the day that I go on a diet. So
I know, right?
And Hershey's miniatures. If most people in the room don't know this, Hershey's miniatures are my absolute weakness. They're like my favorite candy, and although I'm kind of on the crackles. Crackles are okay, but I prefer Nestle Crunch to crackles. So I'll eat the crackles, but I'd rather. Yeah, if they just would have had in the Hershey's miniatures bags, they just had the Mr. Good bar, the regular Hershey's bar, and the Hershey's dark, I'd be happy.
Mr. Good bar is so good.
Oh God, it falls apart in your mouth. It's just great. Am I married? No, I was engaged. I got engaged in 2017, and the engagement ended in May of 2019. So I was engaged for 2 years, but we never got married. Our deal was that we were going to go. We were going to wait until we moved back to Chicago and got married in Chicago. So that's why the engagement lasted for 2 years. Oh, there were some other reasons too. It wasn't like an ideal relationship, anyways, and there's just a whole lot of stuff going on with it. Maybe in another setting, it would have been different. We moved in together way too quickly, and so people who do that, don't do it. Take your time, move in with somebody, get to know them very well first.
Yeah, I've been there, done that.
Enjoy the fact that you have a place to live and they have a place to live, because then you got 2 places to live.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes. Don't ever do it. Oh, so that was a warning. There you go.
Nothing's wrong with not being married.
I had never, until I did that proposal, I had never even in my life considered it. I have been, long relationships that, have lasted for several years, but I have never before then considered it. There was a lot going on when I actually made the proposal, and those things that were happening probably had a lot to do with it, including that what we wanted was a way to keep my fiance's parents from interfering in anything that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And if we got married, then nobody would be able to do that. I would be the first person that everything fell upon, other than his family. I was married, but will never do it again. How long were you? Just curious. My mother would have killed me if I lived with my boyfriend before getting married. LOL. But I never had to live with anyone until I got married. Well, the thing is I always encourage people to live together before they get married. Just within, I sort of, it's a psychology thing, but it doesn't mean that that's always the way it's going to work. So if you never lived with someone until you got married and then you got married, good tendency, then great. That means it did it good, and I salute you.
My stepdad kicked me out when I was 20, so I just lived with the guy that I had been with the night he kicked me out. We lived together for 7 years.
Married for 7, it was okay for 10. I was married. There's a lot of anti-marriage going on here, but yeah, it is very, very unlikely. I will tell you that I will ever do that again. It. I think that if I were to be in a relationship and live with somebody, we would just sign medical proxies for each other and skip the actual marriage thing. Even though you know, even though Judge Judy will get mad at me if I ever appear on her show because she always Judge Judy's pretty big on marriage because she gets irritated when people don't get married but come to her to settle out their
Right.
things when they break apart. So, and if people don't know this already, I'm a huge Judge Judy fan. So, and here's a word. Let's wonder what this is. See, so Sigourney Weaver is here. Was mentioned earlier as the person who was nominated as a character that she played more than once, and she's looking pretty good too. Hey, Casey, off the marriage topic, one of the scariest stories you narrated was the one about addicts. I think I've done a few. Which one was it? Texas T. I married too in the '90s, 23 years ago. This ages me. Ha! The funny thing is I've aged myself a few times.
I know, me too.
Um, I've done it deliberately. I've given clues here and there, so
I do it by
it's
accident.
a
I mean, I don't care if people know my age, but I don't give it out because he finds it funny to not tell people. So
yeah, it's enjoyable to me. The old woman in the attic. Well, I will. What I'll do is I don't know off the top of my head, but I will take that information and like I think I told everybody that I was going to make a poll of stories if people would nominate stories if they wanted to, and then do like a top 5
that would be
of
cool.
stories that my fans. And I have only got a couple recommendations, so I'm glad you did mention that one because I'll put that on there. I have a few movies that were mentioned, but I can't. If I'm going to have people vote for movies to come up with my top 5, I'm going to need to nominate more than 5 because then there's no point of doing the poll. That's the only reason I haven't come out with it yet. So we'll see as that goes along. But I appreciate you letting me know about that. The older brother teases the younger one that there's an old woman in the attic, and he makes him go into the dark attic and sees a woman pointing his finger at him. Yeah, that's pretty creepy,
Hmm.
and it's striking a bit of memory with me. So, yeah. As you know, guys, sometimes it's difficult for me to remember. You know,
It's a
it's
lot
a
of stories.
lot. It's a lot of stories. I have a lot of stories on my channel. I've narrated close to 1,000 unique stories.
Damn.
So it sometimes gets a little much to remember, but actually, I think it's over 1,000. Yeah, actually, it's easily over 1,000. But yeah, it's I there's some of them I remember very very distinctly. You see, if you think about it, over 1,000 is probably about 1100, and if you think about it, 1,000 of those stories were probably primarily written by me based off the stories that people told me and working together with. When you think about it, that's a lot of freaking writing. Maybe I should take all the stories and put them into a book so people can have the Killer Orange Cat book.
The Killer Orange Cat book.
Uh,
That'd be cool.
Here we go. 1,001 Cat Tales.
Oh my god, I love it.
What do you guys think of that?
I
1,001
should
Cat
so do
Tales.
that.
It wouldn't be very hard. They'll have to go to edit because a lot of them have mistakes in them. But Friends with Benefits. I don't like relationships. My sons are 30 and 29. I like Friends with Benefits too, Christine. But I don't mind. I don't mind relationships. Great job narrating all those stories. I've loved paranormal stories since I was in elementary. I had a little blur in my eye there, and the E-L in elementary looked like a D. So I thought you were saying I was reading it really, really poorly there. So, but yeah, 1,001 Cattails. Maybe I'll do that.
I think that would be fantastic.
I mean, most of the stories are written. It would have to be edited
Right.
pretty thoroughly because the stories. You disapprove of what? Better not be the 1,001 Cattails, or I have to censor you. And I said censure, not censor. Not that
Well,
huh?
me and Mom are always available for editing. Mom always wanted to be an editor.
I would have made a bad editor.
Mom's a good
Do
editor.
it. Well, possibly I will. It might not be a bad idea.
She's also
Each
been a
of
really
my
good producer for my videos. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, now I'd have to say it would be if I put 1,000 stories into it, you're probably looking at about a close to a 2,000 page book. Then see there I could do it, and I could do that, and I could send a copy to Stephen King and say, hey, look, I wrote a bigger book than you.
Nice.
And it wouldn't be anything against Stephen King. I love Stephen King.
I know,
So.
me too.
I'd like him more of a person later than a writer, though. I don't like a lot of his more recent writings, but as a person, I do like. I just like cats. You know why? Well, you've had a lot of PTSD with cats, so I understand. I love editing. I'm that annoying grammar Nazi. I've never found the grammar Nazi to be annoying,
Mom has a
except
bit of an issue
for
with cats too.
Diane Chambers on Cheers. She's very annoying,
She is.
but she's the only grammar Nazi that aggravates.
I like my grammar Nazi comic.
Yeah. So Joker won the best soundtrack. That's what this is, right? People who are watching it with me, that's what I just saw right now, right? Best soundtrack or score. I always say soundtrack, but yeah, which is pretty good. I mean, that means song will be next, which also means the show will be going over because if I'm not mistaken, they still have actor, actress, uh, director, and best picture to go plus song. I really liked. I liked watching some older highlights from Oscar. Like Johnny Carson had some great jokes when he would host the Oscars, like welcome to the Academy Awards, the best 2 hours on television spread out to 5 hours. Although honestly, my I think my favorite moment ever at the Oscars was with what's his name from Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, I can't
Um,
remember his name right now either.
I'm forgetting his name right now, but he was. It was when up there when he was talking about it, and talking about, I don't. They wanted me to come out here and say something to have you relax. But hey, I didn't do that. You're not here to relax. If you want to relax and watch a show on home, that'll relax you. He, he's like, you're here to sweat. And if you come up here, Elton John just won an Oscar, and Bernie Taupin, yay! But to include what I was saying, he was like, and don't give me any of this I don't deserve it stuff. If you really don't think that you deserve an Academy Award, we have this. We got two sets of envelopes. So if you don't think you deserve an Academy Award, don't get up. Just shake your hand like this, and we'll bring out the second envelope. And I like Paul Hogan. Yes, thank you, Dan. I was really trying to get the name, and it's like I can't come to me. See, there you go. There you go. That is an Oscar speech for you. Wow, this doesn't suck. But oh, buddy, I'm sorry. Hard giving them up. Oh, Miss McKay, yeah. We unfortunately had a.
That's why we've got 8 of them.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about last summer with the kittens.
Oh God.
Sure pouncing the little shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna forget that anytime soon.
Yeah, it happens. Oh, I suppose this would probably depress people. Should I tell people about Demon or no?
Yeah.
Um, our neighbor has or had a. I don't really know what he was. He looked like a big Labrador to me.
He's a mix of
But
some sort.
my neighbor is a nice guy, but he's not really good at taking care of his animals in a good way by training them and doing certain good things for them.
Well, he
Now,
kept them fed and stuff.
yeah, he kept them fed, but he didn't really train them. He didn't really.
Walk them.
He didn't walk them. He didn't really give them attention. He didn't neuter them or spay them, and he had a really really hard time in the past. What this all happened like within a week and a half, didn't it?
Within a couple of weeks, I'd say.
At least within 2 weeks, because there were some puppies and stuff, and not because he gave it away, but they still had the major dog Demon and his puppy who looked just like a smaller version of him. And I guess a couple of weeks ago, the puppy ran out into the middle of the road and got hit by a car. My sister went with the owner to the or the animal emergency room. Unfortunately, they had to put him down because it would have been too much. But they weren't. I don't. You were there, so
Mhm. There was just. They said that
it would have been
had
the
to be
best thing for
surgery, and
him.
then they still weren't sure if he'd survive. So
Right.
pretty much,
So then,
that was what they could do.
a few days ago, I was sitting here in my bedroom and I saw the big dog Demon out in the parking lot of the church across the street. I'm like, oh look, a Demon's out again. Demon's a very smart dog, and he's very difficult to catch. He'll let you get really close to him, but he's hard to catch. And apparently, something happened that day, and someone called the dog catcher, and the dog catcher tried to get him. And I guess he tried to bite the dog catcher, but didn't bite him. He just tried. So they took him and put him down.
Most fucked up thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's like,
And
and
I
I
don't
heard
care
it.
if
I'm
he
like,
did bite the dog catcher because it's a dog catcher.
yeah,
If
and
it's
unfortunately, our neighbor did not fight or do anything to keep it from happening.
I think he was still
But
too beat up from the puppy, and then to lose
yeah,
Demon, it was just like, he was done.
he he lost both the puppy and the dad within a 2 week period of time. And the puppy was traumatic. The dad was it was just wrong. I mean,
Yeah, I'm still pissed.
the,
I don't understand how they can do that.
right. I had to put my Toulouse tuxedo cat down. He was 14. He was practically my service animal.
Oh,
I'm sorry to hear that. Very sorry to hear that. No,
I still got my
I
16-year-old sleeping on my chest here.
I have had experience with pets dying because I've had ferrets, and ferrets don't live for a very long time. So if you're gonna be a ferret person, you got to accept that. You're gonna get your most of your ferrets will live between 3 and 4 years, or 3 and 6 years. So, but they are. That's why usually you get like a lot of them. So when one of them passes away, the other ones will keep you company. But other than those two kittens, I really haven't had problems with other animals. A lot of the animals I've had. Oh, here comes Best Director. Okay, big one now. Although it's going to be Sam Mendes. No, I do think Quentin Tarantino should be given an Oscar. I mean, they give people Oscars sometimes for a body of work rather than their just most recent film. And I liked 1917, but it wasn't the best directed film out there. I thought, but if I still would like to see maybe Parasite too, but it'll be Sam Mendes. Oh my god!
What?
Holy shit! Wow! Bong Joon-ho won for Parasite.
Hmm.
Holy shit! No, wow. No, you see, here's the thing. There's an award that comes out right before the Oscars. It's called the Directors Guild Award. Now, that's been going on since the 40s. And since the 40s, only seven times has a person won the Directors Guild Award, but not won the Oscar. 7 times in nearly 80 years. In 80 years, Sam Mendes won the Directors Guild. Bong Joon-ho just won for Parasite. So now it's 8 times it hasn't happened.
Wow.
But I'm just glad Sam Mendes didn't win because I like 1917, but it was not better directed than Parasite. So wow. Sorry guys, I got so excited there. And now he's speaking in Korean, which I don't know. This is fine.
Yeah.
Oh, his translator. But wow. But yeah, that's amazing. Great, honoring Martin Scorsese. Wow. But now I would say that Parasite might be the favorite for Best Picture at this point, and that would be pretty cool. I mean, again, I was rooting for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I still sort of am, but I don't think 1917 was the best movie of the year. So both Parasite would be a better choice in my opinion. I'm sorry, guys. We're all talking about animals, and I'm like, all getting over. I'm all like getting excited about this.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
just,
what
I
I'm
just
gonna do with
love.
Buffy when she goes because she's my constant shadow. It's gonna be freaking weird. So hopefully she
Yeah,
still
I
has
know.
a few more years in her. She's only 11.
Yeah,
Same for Althea. She's only 16.
and that's pretty cool that he's honoring each one of the other directors. Pretty well, at least Quentin Tarantino and Martin Scorsese. Um, Now he's probably thinking he has to mention the other guys. Sam Mendes just mentioned Sam Mendes. Martin just stole the spotlight. He wasn't trying to. Uh, Bruno was giving it to him. Very, very humble, but yeah. But the good thing is that He'll drink until next morning. The funniest thing is that I almost put money on him to win. I thought maybe it would be, there was a betting site that was accepting bets, and I was like, I think he was pretty low on the list, and I thought, well, the odds are pretty good. Maybe I should put a bet down, but no, I don't want to risk it. Ugh.
I'm
But
assuming this is when we actually had money.
but yeah, it's a sad story about the dogs, yeah. And as we talk it now they're doing the part of the Oscars where they show everybody who died in the past year.
uh,
Steven Spielberg is introducing it, of course. But yeah, it's kind of interesting that when we're talking about the dogs passing, now they're doing the in memoriam on the Oscars.
Konohamaru lay his head down on the microphone. He goes, let me have that back. You can lie down, just not there.
Billie Eilish sings the Beatles. Yep, I like her hair, the green with the black
Mm-hmm.
half. That's really nice looking. I don't know if I'm completely familiar with her as a singer, but see live. So Barbara Hammer, Patricia Blau, John Barry. Danny Aiello. Oh, I didn't know that.
Hmm.
I love Danny Aiello. Didn't know he passed away.
I didn't know that either.
The guy who played Madonna's dad in Papa Don't Preach. We just getting all teared up there. Richard Williams, Michiko Kyo, Anna Karenina, D.A. Penbacker, Andre Previn, Peter Mayhew. Oh,
Konohamaru.
Peter Mayhew did? That's sad. Chewbacca.
Konohamaru just did
Garfield.
the thing where he's sleeping and then all of a sudden his head just falls over.
Thanks for showing up, Texas T. You have a great night, and I'm really happy that you were here to visit with us. Have a good time at work tomorrow.
Yes, thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, I didn't know that Chewbacca died.
That is sad.
At all times, is I guess the news that we get nowadays kind of overshadows a lot of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Rutger Hauer, I knew that because I had a Mandela effect moment. And no, I do not believe in it, but when Rutger Hauer died, I was surprised. I thought that he had died long. Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
thank
Thank you,
you.
Texas T. Appreciate it very much. Oh, hey, look at a swamp dweller. Peter
Hey,
Fonda, I
Swampy.
know that one. I hope you're doing good there, Swampy. We're very loosely watching the Oscars. I didn't know if I knew John Singleton died either. Or Kirk Douglas. I Yeah, I think I remember hearing about Kirk Douglas. But hey, nice to see you, Swampy. Oh yeah, watching the show or doing you must be because you saw about Chewbacca. That kind of made me a little bit so sad there too. I'd not heard that. I just didn't think I'd heard about. I didn't know if I heard about Kirk Douglas.
I didn't either.
I remember him being like 101 years old. I was reading about that, but I'm always happy when Swampy comes and visits us. He's one of the guys that always comes by and says hello every now and then. So I always appreciate it. Hey, Spook used to come and say hi every now and then, but I haven't seen. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of awards left. But it's 10 o'clock. See, it always goes over. I told you.
Yes, it does.
Always goes over. Like again, like Johnny Carson said, the best 2 hours of entertainment spread out in 4 hours. Kirk Douglas was really recent. Yeah, there were some times where I just block the news out, because it's just hard to take sometimes.
Mhm.
All the Kirk Douglas died 4 days ago. Okay, that's why. Yeah, I haven't paid too much attention to the news the past few days. There's just been getting way too much back and forth, dislike and everything, and it was just the negativity sometimes is a bit much for me. And just to be clear, negativity that comes from all sides. I'm not saying that one type of people are being negative and making everybody else feel bad. There's negativity everywhere, and a lot of times when I watch the news, that's all I feel is that it's all just negative, and I don't like it. So, but it was a pretty nice commercial for Adobe there. Singing the Pure Imagination song, which I always love. I can't watch so much news either. Yeah, it's 4 a.m. where I am. I don't know how I'm surviving. Oh yeah, I just completely forgot that. He be over across the pond.
Oh.
This Oscar Party live chat is really cool, and I'm really enjoying it. Killer Cat and Evil Bat Cat. Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah, we're enjoying it too.
We're enjoying it too. I mean, I wish that we had the sort of rights to stream the actual telecast and talk about it,
Mhm.
but I don't mess with stuff like that, as you know. I won't even when I do debunking videos, I do my best to put in as little material from someone else's video
Mhm.
as possible. I just don't like to mess with that. People get too trigger happy with copyright flagging, so I just want to completely avoid that. Best actor. So okay, we're gonna probably get Joaquin Phoenix moment now, without some amazingly strange surprise. But I never sleep, so I could chat all night.
I'm about to fall asleep under a big pile of cats. They do
I
that.
think yeah. I think after the awards is over, we're both probably gonna fall asleep. I've been up since about 5 in the morning, so
Yeah, I gotta get up
I
early to go to mom's because mom does everything early.
my sister will be making a new food baking video tomorrow, so
And make sure you have laundry ready because that afterwards
I
she's
already
gonna
have
make
laundry
you
ready.
do laundry. Okay.
Everything's good. But that's a very nice, interesting dress she's wearing. Uh, looks like felt or velvet though, sort of. But we're getting best actor, which is most likely going to be Joaquin Phoenix, which means he is probably going to keep the censors on their toes there. I believe at the Golden Globes they had to beep him out like 4 times, which is fine. Now I like Marriage Story, but I'm not really quite sure Adam Driver deserved a Best Actor nomination for that. On this, if you haven't seen The Two Popes, it was enjoyable. Oh yeah, if this is Joaquin Phoenix's award, there's no way it would be the biggest shock at all because he's won everything. It'll be more shocking than the director of Parasite winning. Goodbye. Oh man. And the movie was his performance was just so heavy, and it kind of grabbed you and just kind of drags you and makes you very uncomfortable. And I just always thought that was quite brilliant. Oh, okay. Well, thanks, Bryce. I'm glad. So, yep. Antonio Banderas, Pain and Glory. Leonardo DiCaprio, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Adam Driver, Marriage Story. Joaquin Phoenix, Joker. Bryce, the two. The Oscar goes to Joaquin Phoenix, Joker. My other bet is was that he'll mention Heath Ledger somewhere in the acceptance speech, but yep, he won, and it's very deserved. He got standing ovation. Again, very deserved. So of course he's saying he doesn't feel better than anyone who's nominated. So, but it almost seemed like they dimmed the lights after he won. Although I'm so far ahead of when you're watching, another result full minute for you. There's also a delay, Kevin. You're hearing that. You're not hearing me exactly when I'm talking. You're hearing me several moments later.
The delay between us and YouTube tends to be a bit big.
Right.
For which I blame YouTube, because I've noticed that Twitch and stuff doesn't do that.
Yeah, so we're probably seeing it close to a more similar time. It's just that when I say it, you're getting it later.
My God, you cats are warm. If they ever turn the heat off on us for any reason, I'd never have to worry about freezing to death.
Good night, Christine. Thank you for showing up as always. Love it when you're here.
Good night, Christine.
And hope you have a great night. I guess I'm not too shocked that his acceptance speech isn't going to say anything about the movie. And he's talking about animal rights and that we shouldn't take baby cows away from. And
he is right. The way that we do that with the factory farming is terrible. And the way how we treat cows to get their milk is just bad.
I don't know if I'm going to say that he's right because you're not hearing the whole speech. Are you not watching it? Are you?
No. I was just saying at one point.
He was saying it's wrong for us to take milk from cows and put it into our cereal. I do not agree with that.
No.
But again, it's not also. I don't know. I mean, why don't you come up here and talk about acting? Talk about the movie. Talk about he. But I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a good speech, but it's kind of pushing your preferences on people because you won an award. I've never really quite liked that too much.
Maybe he just wants to get on South Park like George Clooney. Was it George Clooney?
Maybe.
I can't remember. Whoever it was just
Cat Piece of Bear Hugs Back. I don't remember. It might have been, but it's. I don't even mind people putting a little bit of stuff like that, but he's kind of going a little overboard, I think. Oh, he's talking about River Phoenix now. Run to the rescue with love and peace will follow. I'm glad you mentioned River. I absolutely adored River Phoenix. It was so devastating when he passed away. Okay, Best Actress is coming up.
I like cereal too, but I'll eat it with almond milk. But that's because of an allergy, not because of my views on cows.
So, Best Actress. I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion for this too. We have they're not doing the names quite yet, so I know some of these girls, some of these ladies have uh, names that are very difficult for me to pronounce. So I'll have to wait until they actually show the names before I read nominees to people who aren't watching. But it's another one where I think the foregone conclusion is that Renee Zellweger is going to win for playing Judy Garland in the movie Judy.
Mm. You know, next time
So
we get paid, I'd like to get some coconut milk. Not like, I mean, the coconut milk like you get when you get almond milk.
oh, okay. And Scarlett Johansson. Know her name. But yeah, right now they're showing scenes from the movies. They're not giving out names yet, but I I and yes, I agree, Bryce. I think almond milk is really great with certain cereals, especially like I think it works really great with chocolate flavored cereals more than other ones myself. So I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so they're about to read the names, so I'll read the names as they do that. Someone says they enjoy me narrating. So let's take a look. The nominees for Best Actress in a Leading Role. Cynthia Erivo, Harriet. Scarlett Johansson, Marriage Story. Saoirse Ronan, Little Women. I know I said her name wrong.
It's a heck of a name.
Charlize Theron, Bombshell. Renee Zellweger, Judy. And the Oscar goes to Renee Zellweger. And this takes us down to one more award, but this is a. I know Renee Zellweger won before. I think she won for Chicago, maybe?
Don't know.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think she won for Chicago.
You're the one who always remembers those things.
I usually do. I tend to get all the Oscar questions right on Jeopardy that people on Jeopardy get wrong. It's always so interesting to see Renee Zellweger when she talks, like when she accepts an award or gives an interview. She seems so soft spoken and meek,
Mm-hmm.
which she really doesn't. She doesn't seem like she's never like that when she acts.
Right.
So it's it's how good of an actor she is. Good night again, Christine. Hope you have a great night. Be good.
Good night.
Don't do anything evil. I don't know where that came from. It just came out. So I think it was that Tom Cruise movie, Renee Zellweger. Yeah, the more I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking that Chicago was less likely than I thought it was. I mean, I thought somebody won an acting Oscar for that, but I think that I'm wrong about. I really think I'm wrong about that.
Good night, madam. Raven?
Oh, good night, Madam Raven. I gotta check through who I can find out about this because everyone knows they was talking because that's not really doing much for me. So I can look at the accolades, Academy Awards. Yeah, she was nominated but didn't win. Oh, Catherine Zeta-Jones who won for Chicago, Best Supporting Actress. I knew somebody from that did. So we go ahead and look through here. Awards and nominations. You know somebody's really successful when you go to their Wikipedia page and you go down to the awards and nominations and it gives you a link to a different page. Holy crap, this woman's won a lot of awards.
Konohamaru is so asleep on me. He fell over right next to me, so like I'm breathing and it's tickling his ear, and he keeps flicking his ear at me. Oh, move, you goose! I can't move. You guys are covering me. There he went. He moved.
Renee Zellweger won an Oscar for Cold Mountain, Best Supporting Actress. Movie she did with Jude Law, it looks like. Yeah, Rosie, you're right. Catherine Zeta won for Chicago. Yeah, they're going on a bit now. They always, of course, they always let the winners for Best Actor and Actress talk as long as they want to. But I didn't get to see Judy. I knew that she was a favorite to watch it, or not to watch it, to win the award. So I had planned on watching it before the show came on, but the problem was that uh, I was watching The Irishman. I was trying to get all the Best Picture nominees watched, but since The Irishman, which I did like, was very, very, very long, I wasn't able to slip it in. So now they go into commercial, and then the Best Picture award will be coming up, and I have to tell you now, I think 1917 was supposed to be, the big winner, but it was supposed to have won the director award, and I mean again,
Mhm.
only 7 times before, and 7 times in 80 years that the person who won the Directors Guild didn't win Best Director, and it just happened tonight. So maybe Parasite will upset and win Best Picture. Who's lucky? Somebody's lucky.
Mhm.
I don't know. She just said someone's lucky. Bryce said someone's lucky. I don't know who it is.
Ah.
Oh, nice, interesting commercials. Although I think I enjoyed the Super Bowl commercials a
Drowning
bit
in blue
more.
lines.
Yeah, Rosie, I like the Irishman. Uh, it's kind of a slow burn kind of movie. You got the uh, casual. I mean, but then again, a lot of Martin Scorsese movies are like that. There's a lot of early character building.
I
So
like Irishman in general.
yeah, but that's not the same. Nobody has an Irish accent.
Oh, okay, I won't be watching it then.
The movie's about a guy who worked with Jimmy Hoffa
Mm.
and a guy who claimed to have killed Jimmy. But
Yeah, I know. I'm lucky to be covered in cats. I'm also very hot. Very warm-blooded animals. And they're all over me.
yeah, he was an Irish guy working for the mafia. So that's what they call it, the Irishman.
They're trying to make me feel guilty.
I don't think any of the cats are successful at making me feel guilty about anything.
It works pretty well on me.
I just think of the bad things they do. But my neck is really stiff now for some reason.
What bad things does Althea ever do?
I blame the wig party.
Wig party.
She's gassy.
Well, yeah, but you don't have to deal with that. I do.
Yeah. Here's small details being too hot is worth it.
Yeah, she's old, so she can't help it.
But yeah, if you do watch the Irishman, Rosie, let me know what you think about it. I'd be interested. I have a pretty good. Again, I thought it was good. I don't know. It's 3 hours and 29 minutes long. So it has to be. You have to like a long movie. You want but here we go. Jane Fonda is going to read off the best picture, which I think she's done a few times before. And I like Jane Fonda, despite
Me too.
people who give her shit for her politics and everything. I don't really care. I like her. She's a good actress. And hopefully, when she divorced Ted Turner, she got so.
Every
And now
once
she's
in a
talking about
while,
raising awareness. Okay.
every once in a while, Konohamaru's ear hair must be getting tickled, and he keeps flicking me. He's like right up
Uh-huh.
against my cheek.
My Irish grandpa owned a bakery, donut shop. Ladies loved his accent.
Oh hell yeah!
All right, here are the best picture nominees. Okay, they're
Irishman
gonna do this again.
bakery.
I can admit it's kind of not liking what they're doing by showing these random scenes of the movies before announcing the names of the movies. Ford versus Ferrari is the first nominated movie. The only one I didn't see. Goodbye. The Irishman is the second nominated movie, being the last movie that I saw before the show came on tonight. The following movie, the third movie, is Jojo Rabbit, which was awesome. I, Jojo Rabbit being really unlike anything I've seen before. And the next movie is Joker. And but I don't think it'll win. Little Women,
Woohoo!
which out of if I'm not mistaken, no, actually I think Joker was the first of the nominated movies I saw. Little Women would have been the second. So, but very unlikely to win, of course.
Right.
Next we have Marriage Story. Which again, it was likable, and Laura Dern was good in it, but I got so aggravated by her character. Like, I don't want to be mean to my ex husband and take everything away from him. Sure, you do. Next, we have 1917. Again, that was the favorite to win, but hey, let's wait and see. Maybe there'll be an upset. I'm starting to think there might be. Goodbye, oh man. Next is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which so far it's good enough. I mean, it probably won't win, but good enough that Brad Pitt won because Brad Pitt actually really made them. And Parasite. And and I got the chat closed because this is in case somebody says who wins before I see it on the screen.
Mhm.
I'd rather see it when it comes up on things. So I got the chat closed right now. But now I'm kind of rooting for Parasite. Let's see what happens here. And the Oscar goes to Parasite. Oh my God! Wow! Holy crap! Yep. Wow. This is the very first time in the history of the cat 92 years, the very first time that a foreign language film has won Best Picture.
Hmm.
That I mean, there are movies that have had foreign language like Dances with Wolves and other films have had, or Godfather 2 had a lot of Italian in it,
Mhm.
but they were still English language films. Parasite and it got a standing ovation.
Nice.
Great. That makes me happy. Again, the director is kind of like blown over by it and stuff, and he's like, oh wow. And like I said, it's nice to see something. And I think the best thing about Parasite is that it's different. So again, if you haven't seen it, I told as much as I want to talk about the plot because I don't want to give anything away because the things that continue to happen are pretty neat, and a few of them are pretty surprising. But it that's what I liked about it the most was it was different. 1917 wasn't different. It was a war movie. We've
Mhm.
seen a bajillion war movies, and they're fine, and some are really good. I mean to say that I bet it's good. Uh, I said it. I enjoyed it every minute of it when I was watching it. My first thought was I didn't know if I thought it was as good as everybody said it was, but after I watched it and I was watching some other movies, my thoughts kept on going back to it. So I kept going back and thinking about certain parts of it and seeing things in it that I didn't see when I originally saw it. That it's also a movie about social class inequality too. And something's going on the stage. What?
Mhm.
What is going on? I just don't get what was happening. It's like people in the audience, the actors were like screaming up or something like that, and I I really don't know what was just going on. It was just weird. I
Mhm.
can't explain it. You'd have to see it. You'd have to look at the broadcast and see it. But
Mhm.
the crowd was just being kind of weird there for a second. Maybe, yeah. But anyhow, or maybe they were chanting "bong" for the director. That might have been it.
Mhm.
It's you have to say that man had a great night tonight, and he deserved every bit of it.
Mhm.
Best screenplay, which for he wrote, best director, which he deserved very much, and now best picture. But yeah, Rosie, if you check it out and watch it, let me know what you think. It's the movie is very layered. So the movie isn't just about the story. The movie just isn't about the story. It's about a lot of things that the positions of the characters. They turn the lights down, stop the speeches. The crowd protested, so they turned the lights back up. Okay, yeah, I didn't get that, but I'm glad they did that. Yeah, they had I saw the actors in the front and directors and producers in the front row were telling them to put it back up, but I guess I'm guessing that's why, because again, I think most people in the crowd probably think that it was a movie that most deserved to win, which doesn't always happen. And not only that, but now we have a foreign language film that actually, let me just change my mind. I was wrong about something. I said it won. I said thank good for the director because he won the the screenplay, the best director, and best picture. But I also forgot he won best foreign language film too.
Hmm.
So he had 4 awards there.
Damn.
So, but yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, a lot of people who go out and uh watch a watch a movie after it wins an Academy Award, something they might become. Oh, I didn't think that was good enough. I think you like Parasite. I enjoyed it. In fact, I'm very, very happy that it won it. I was thinking that I was going to go into this and seeing 1917, which again was a good movie, but not the best movie of the year. Just sweep all the awards, and it's good to see. Like, uh, like 20 years ago, when I thought Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon should have won Best Picture and Best Director, and it didn't. And a lot of people said the reasoning behind it was they didn't want a movie to win Best Foreign Film and Best Director and Best Picture, and it won Best Foreign Film. So the Academy was like, "Well, that's good enough," but it really isn't. I mean, it's a good award, but it's not comparable to Best Picture. That's the award. And knowing also that Parasite was like a labor of love uh, for Bong who directed it, um, that makes it even more so. So, and was a really great film. Sure thing, I'll definitely watch the movie and let you know. Is that a caption? Yeah, you'll have to watch it with subtitles. It doesn't have. I highly doubt you'll be able to find like a dub, but it's in Korean. But I can pretty much guarantee. I mean, some people might not like subtitles because sometimes they look away. You're not going to look away from this movie. It's really that good. Now, don't get me wrong. If Knives Out had been nominated, I still would have been going for Knives Out because I thought, wow. I mean, Knives Out was like I watched the entire thing, and the very first thing I wanted to do once it was over is start it from the beginning again. And I really love that film, and I've been trying to get lots of people to watch it, telling them that they'll like it because they'll like it, and it really is worth it. Love KOC. Well, I love you too, Kiki. I love subtitles. Well, good, good, good. I do too. And I'm not just saying that. I really do. I love watching foreign films a lot and stuff. And I keep captions on. I keep captions on the TV for everything.
Captions in
So,
the same language can sometimes bother me just because I read stuff before it happens, and that
all
bugs
right.
me. But I kind of gotten mostly over that now. Subtitles don't bother me at all, though.
Okay, Director Parasite has 2 other films that were excellent. Snowpiercer and those. So I'll check those out. Well, anyhow, that's the Oscars, guys. I know it's not typical Killer Orange Cat fare, but I wanted to have a day where I could just sit around and talk to you guys about something, about anything general. We didn't have to have a specific subject of the Oscars, and I do love talking about movies. But I'm
And
gonna
I
have to
just
go ahead
wanted to
and
put
end.
Ichigo in a top hat.
Right. Uh, but I did want to go ahead and end the stream because I think, but me and Mike's sister are both pretty tired and probably just go right to bed.
And I have to get up at
But
like 7.
thank you all for being here. I love it as always. We'll have plenty of horror stories coming out in the following week. So don't think that just because this week I just did streams, but this following week we'll have tons and tons of stories coming out. So look forward to it. It's going to be a pretty busy week for me, and I think you'll all be happy with what it shows at the end. So
Yep. Thanks
just
for
so that you
coming,
all have a
guys.
great day. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming and seeing what a lot of people stayed here throughout the entire thing. Makes me happy, and I appreciate everybody coming here. I hope you all have a great night, and thank you so much for being here. Good night,
Bye.
everybody.